Tes mic 1 2 3 1 2 3. Oke, halo guys, welcome back with me Fedelish, your online friend. So ya, hari kita bakal main VN Chaos Child yang udah sempat kita beli kemarin ya. Oke. Ini anime bakal ada gore-nya nanti. So, prepare. Nggak suka gore. But kalau aku cukup suka gore, so ya. Wait, bentar kita atur dulu resonya 1920, full screen on. Teksnya minimum, skip mode, sound, voice. Oke sih. Oh ya, let's new game. Emang continue udah ada. Halo Ahmad Raffi, welcome to the stream. November 6. Oke, ini latarnya di 2009 ya. Halo Vince, welcome to the stream. 10.28. It came without warning. Apa tuh? Apa tuh? Luar. Apa? Apa itu? It was magnitude 7.8 earthquake. 7,8 ya. With an epicenter directly under the city. Di kota ya pusatnya. This disaster reduced one of Tokyo busiest downtown areas to nothing in a single night. The high-rise building that had birthed so many trends and fates collapsed as if giving up on their role in society. As individuals fell into the grip of the crowd's psychology, their terror was magnified. Combine all of these things took many lives. Iya sih. In one night, bro. Turn into nothing. The final death toll was korban jiwanya banyak ya. 3.851, terus yang terluka 30.927. This event would later be known as the Shibuya earthquake. Shibuya incident ya. Bang, hello Fan, welcome to the stream. Even in all that destruction, people still suffer the most in their heart. Some who had lost their families came together to share new resolve, while others who had been forced to watch their friend die were driven by guilt. Anjir bundir ya. Kena mentalnya ya. Lupa namanya. Post incident guilty ya. Apa itu namanya? Dia kayak ngerasa bersalah karena dia selamat gitu. As a baby was miraculously reunited with its parent after 72 hours. A child in an evacuation shelter asked her dad, "When mommy is coming home?" He had no answer. Waduh. Some of the wounded made it to the hospital by looking at real-time updates on the web. Others saw people on the internet talking about the disaster as if it were a movie. Anjir, tapi iya sih yang buat yang nggak ngalamin ya kayak movie aja gitu. A homeless man was saved from malnutrition by an organized volunteer group. Oke, ada volunteer ya. But at the same time, a middle school boy punched a self-centered volunteer who would come to Shibuya to find himself in the face. It was the first time in that boy's life he would ever been violent. The psychological toll was incredible, and many of the survivors would later manifest symptoms. Ada PTSD ya, post-traumatic. The young were hit the hardest, and before long, the cause of those symptoms was given a name: Chaos Child Syndrome. Ini ya si Chaos Child-nya ya judulnya. Rebuilding happened at a feverish pitch never seen before. Oh, di rebuild ya. It felt inappropriate to say hang in there, but people felt that somebody had to do something. Iya sih. The new slogan was Shibuya, a city reborn, and no amount of money or manpower was spared in aiding the end of war. The whole town was in the grip of a fever. In private, a leader of redevelopment efforts said, "This may sound unkind, but this frenzy feels like a town burying its grief by holding a festival." Building codes were rigorously evaluated with an eye toward earthquake engineering, perhaps in an effort to emphasize the city's safety. Security cameras were put up all over town. Shibuya will become a place where everyone could live in peace. Okay, ini Shibuya mau di-rebuild ya. But at the same time, a rumor began to spread about the earthquake. Oh, kayak apa nih alasan penyebabnya si earthquake-nya? Some things about this earthquake doesn't make sense. Iya sih, soalnya di pusat kota kayak bisa pusat kota tuh nggak dibawa. There were no aftershocks, and the damage had spread in a strange way. Oke, nggak ada gempa susulannya ya gitu. Terus juga penyebarannya aneh gitu. Harajuku and Ebisu areas only a kilometer away from Shibuya suffer few casualties and even fewer collapsed buildings. This damage pattern had never been observed in any prior earthquake, so more than a few pundits claim the Shibuya earthquake must have been artificial. Artificial ya buatan ya jadinya ya. More than anything, some of the survivors all say the same things. I saw a white light, cahaya putih. Heard a sound like ringing in my ears. Oke, ada suara berdengung gitu ya. So many people experience this for anyone to laugh it off. But no cause of those phenomena was ever found. It was just more evidence to those who believe that something about the earthquake had been wrong. Oke, ada bukti kuat lah ya, karena banyak yang bilang ada cahaya putih, ada yang suara dengungan gitu. Then 6 years after the strange earthquake in 2015, something else was about to attract attention in the reborn city of Shibuya. Oke. Apa nih? Oh, openingnya ya. Chaos Child. If you are God and delusion become reality about what kind of noise you get. Oke, sekarang di tahun 2015 ya, lengkap 6 tahun ya. September 7, Sunday night. Minggu malam. Okay. I'm going to take 3 minutes for questions. Get to it. Guru nih kayaknya. Di sekolah. The second he spoke, the comment box started to fill. Oh, live stream deh kayaknya. Yuma Otani watched it for a few seconds and then saw the request. When does Haru tell us she is dating somebody? He smiled to himself. Is what he wanted. Most of the requests were about hot actors and cute idols. His audience was so stupid that it was easy to tell exactly what they were going to ask. The problem was always whether the name that came up was someone he knew. It was a question of luck and of how popular they were. But Haru, her full name was Haruko something or other, she was fine. Just a few days ago, he had forced himself to go to an event he would rather have skipped and seen it for himself. Ooh.
Yosh,
katanya. Satisfied, Otani got up to get some snack like he always did. Okay, nyemil dulu deh. He lived in a 1-bedroom condo located 8 minutes from Shibuya Station. Oh, deket ya sama kejadian gempanya mungkin. Berarti dia harusnya ngalamin ya. cost 150,000 yen per month. Berapa tuh? 1,5 ya? It had been built after the earthquake, so the furnishing and layout were modern. Iya, karena udah diperbarui ya, supaya biar bisa ditinggal. A little more room would have been nice, but compared to the 40,000 yen per month place he had lived in last year, it was heaven. Okay.
来年には
Next year, maybe I'll move somewhere more convenient. Oke, dia mau cari tempat yang lebih nyaman ya. At 21 years old, Otani felt satisfied for the first time in his life. Kenapa tuh? In 4th grade, he had gotten big into online gaming and stopped going to school. Okay. Eventually, he had stopped leaving his room altogether. Anjir, hikokomori bro. Hikikomori anjir bocahnya. Then, he had gotten addicted to drugs that made him sleepy but did nothing else. What the hell? Once seeing only darkness in his future, he had planned to commit suicide. Ooh. Okay. In the chaos after the earthquake 6 years ago, he had finally managed to leave his room, but his family had already given up on him. After he failed his entrance exam, he went to live on his own in Shibuya. He hadn't spoken to his parents since. Okay. As far as they knew, he had failed the exam 3 times in a row. Anjir, 3 kali berturut-turut. In fact, he hadn't even gone to the test after the first time. There wasn't anything he wanted to learn in college, or any companies he wanted to work for badly enough. He had no goal in life at all. Okay. But things were different now. Maybe At-chan does tell truth sometimes. Guess I'll have some cheese. At-chan siapa nih anjir? He took a block of cheap cheese he had bought at the supermarket out of the fridge. Usually, he never ate anything they shipped. But on Nikonia livestreaming, it wasn't just what you said. How you look when you say it also matter. Otani wasn't a good-looking man, let alone a cute girl. He was just a plain old guy and sought to keep his program popular. He needed to make them think that he was poor, barely managing to scrape by, in fact. That's why he kept the area around his PC and the part of his apartment that you could see with his webcam completely plain. Last month, he had finally reached his goal of 4,000 viewers. Damn. For a man with nothing going for him like Otani, this was extremely unusual. Iya sih. 3 months ago, he had guessed the winner of a popularity contest a certain adult group was holding, as well as their total number of votes that must have really paid off. Nikonia video. After that, his number had been going up steadily late last month when his stream had appeared at the top of Nikonia's page. Nikonia's page ini kayaknya website gitu ya, buat streaming platform gitu ya. He had seen a huge increase. Right now, he had gotten above 4,500 and it was quite possible he will break 5,000 by the end of the month. It was around late last year when he had started to wonder about his power. It was a certain rumor on one of At-chan's occult board that made him really start to realize what he had. The name he had chosen for his stream subtly reflected this. Then I learned that I can see the future. Wait, what? Dia bisa lihat future anjir. He took out the knife to cut the cheese. Okay. There was a strange sound. Suara ketukan pintu ya? He thought he had just imagined it when knock, 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 knock. He heard it again. Suara pintu ya. It was coming from the door, bener kan? Pintu kan? Someone was clearly knocking on his door. Jungle.
密林か
Jungle apa nih? Huh? Jungle, maybe. Jungle saha. Suspicious. He walked toward the door to answer, then checked the clock. It was 11:41 p.m. Udah mau tengah malam ya? Not exactly normal delivery hours. Oh, Jungle tuh yang deliverman-nya ya?
生放送中だっつうの
Come on, I'm streaming right now. He tried to ignore it. But knock, 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 knock gitu ya patternnya. The knocking continue. It was the same rhythm at the same pace. Iya, sama ininya. As if the visitor goal wasn't to come inside, but simply to make that sound. Benar juga. Kalau emang mau masuk mah ketok terus ya, tok 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 tok. Otani felt a bit creeped out. He decided to go to the intercom camera and see who it was, but then realized that would be pointless. Only the auto-locking door on the first floor had a camera. Lantai sini nggak ada ya. The door to Otani's room on the 5th floor had an intercom but no camera. Intercom itu buat yang ngomong ya ke orang di dalam gitu kayak, bukain pintu dong gitu. Otani gave up.
くせ
Damn it.
つが
If you want
用ならインタ
something,
ーホン押
push
せ
the
よ
intercom button. Knock, 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 knock.
酔っ払いか
Maybe it's a drunk. No, the knocks were too steady for that. Iya sih, harusnya kenceng ya. There was no voice yelling at him to open up. Iya sih. Kalau drunk lebih langsung ngomel-ngomel juga ya. He had seen this door a million times, but suddenly it looked somehow different. Someone he didn't know was on the other side of the wall, demanding entry in the middle of the night. Somehow, this made the door seem intimidating. Otani thought he might look through the peephole to see who was outside. He was then disgusted to find himself too scared to even get close to the door. Takut deh. Wait, the intercom didn't have a camera, but it did have a microphone. He turned towards the living room so he could use the intercom and find out what they wanted. Otani, it's me. Sorry to come by so suddenly. Siapa? He stopped when he heard that voice. It's me. I'm very sorry to bother you at this hour. Who are you? Otani tried to remember who the speaker was, but he found he couldn't. Gak tahu siapa ya. But from the tone of the voice, the words, they probably weren't a weirdo. When they said I'm sorry, it sounded like they really meant it. Otani sighed softly with relief, and then realized he was still carrying the knife he had been using to cut cheese. It suddenly felt stupid to feel so nervous. He quickly laid the knife on the top of the sink.
はいはい今開けます
Hi.
どちら
I'll open
様で
it
すか
now. Who is it? Siapa ini? It's me. Don't you remember? Siapa? The voice simply repeated itself. But who are you? Iya, siapa dia? Otani whispered to himself as he opened the door. Otani narrowed his eyebrow at the people standing there. He looked them up and down, then looked at their faces again. Their eyes met.
あんたらどこのどなた
Who are you guys? Police? Otani suddenly felt a piercing headache. Ugh. Otani closed his eyes and put his right hand up to his temple. He could feel the blood pounding in his vein through his finger. He staggered and quickly put his other hand against the wall to keep from falling over. The pain was like the old days when he had overdosed on antidepressant, but much more intense. He grit his teeth again. The pain and dug his nail into the wall that was holding him up. As he waited for the pain in his finger to help dull the pain in his mind. Mr. Otani, are you okay? He heard a voice he had heard many times before and felt a concerned hand on his shoulder. He somehow managed to ignore the pain and open his eye. A worried face was peering down at him. Yeah, I'm fine. This just happened sometimes lately. Overwork, perhaps. You've been so busy lately. You shouldn't push yourself too hard. You're always such a warrior. I'm fine. Come in. Eh, siapa permasalahan yang masuk ini? He opened his mouth as wide as he could and more, trying to ease the pain as he let his important guest inside. Important guest? Ini important guest loh. As he turned his back on his guest, he told himself that it had been a long time since he had seen them. Or maybe not. It couldn't have been more than 2 months since they had last met. It only felt long because he had wanted to see them so badly. Oh, see? But who are they? All right, it was nice of you to come by, but I'm streaming. While he was out there, he decided he would cut some cheese for himself and his guests. Oh, don't worry about us. Ini lebih dari satu nih, guysnya. No, I can't do to you guys. I can't do that to you guys. What's wrong? No, it's nothing. The blade wasn't cutting into the cheese. That's strange, he told himself as he pushed down with more force. He cut into its surface and it made an unpleasant sound he had never heard before, but no matter how hard he pushed, it wouldn't go further. Huh? Confused, he yanked the knife back and for like a saw, but only cut in slightly deeper. It was as if there was something hard inside the cheese. And even though he had only just taken it out of the fridge, it was slightly warm. Hangat itunya katanya. Tapi bukan kekerasan freezing gitu. Damn it, what's going on with this thing? Irritated, he slammed the handle on the knife against the cheese. Gak bisa dipotong-potong ya cheese. But all it did was bash it in a little. He couldn't cut through it. Okay. God damn it. I'll help you. His guests must have heard the sound because they rushed over. They had another knife. When did they get that out? There's a trick to cutting this thing. Apa tuh triknya? They put the knife up against the cheese and began to move it with practice hand. It sounds like your work is going well. They smiled at Otani, their voices slightly low. Otani realized that they were trying to keep their voices from being picked up by the streaming microphone and lowered his voice as well. Yeah. He grinned and nodded. His guest had introduced him to a firm that handled advertising space for popular websites, which had been giving him regular work. His reputation had quietly spread throughout the small web advertising industry, and soon he was getting more and more over. Oke, dapat tawaran terus-menerus ya. This job is all about predicting trends, so it's perfect for me. I can't lose. Then why do these streams? It's hard to say. I guess you could say I'm trying to see how far I can go. That's right. His power wasn't meant to be wasted on job that anyone could do. No one done this before, so I can't ask anybody about it, you know? So I want to do everything I can by myself. Or am I sounding like a show-off? No, it's wonderful, I think. And done. After he had smacked it a few times, the cheese was a little funny looking, but even slices were lined up neatly on the plate. Sorry to make you help like that. It's nothing. Go on. I'll wait until your stream finish. Oke, ditunggu ya sama guestnya.
冷蔵庫の中
Thanks.
適当に見繕ってくれ
If
ていい
you
から
want something from the
Ah,
fridge, grab it.
静かにな。
but be quiet. Otani took his cheese back to his seat and saw a flood comment written. He is late. Did he log off? What should have only been 3 minutes had turned into more than 15. Otani put a bite of the cheese in his mouth and began to chew loudly.
申し訳ない
So sorry
安売りセール
about
して
this
いた
cheese
チーズが
on sale, and
あり
it's
えないくらい
just so
硬くて
incredibly hard. He apologized to the camera, remembering to keep up the act of being poor and starving. And as he hoped, the comments started to come in. I heard you have new hobbies. Reported his broadcast will end. Nikonia is always like this. This is weird. This is why nobody likes Nikonia. Stop it. It's disgusting. Huh? Iya, si karakternya bingung. Otani's face took on a confused expression. The commands were strange. He thought there might be something on the camera, but he turned around and saw only his fake poor room.
どうしま
Is
した
something wrong? He spoke into the camera, but the comments still didn't make any sense, and they were coming in faster. Maybe there was a problem with the camera. He reached his right hand out toward it. In an instant, his headache was back. Kenapa nih? It was the same pain as before, no worse. He closed his eye and jerked forward, banging his head against the desk. But the pain is okay. He tried to hold his hat in his hand, but for some reason his right hand wouldn't move. Oh, yang bunyi banyak-banyak tadi tangannya, jangan-jangan. So instead, he pushed his other hand against his temple. It felt squishy. The pain was incredibly swollen, and it felt like rubber. And each time he felt his blood pulse through it, there was an unpleasant sensation in his finger. He stamped his feet against the floor, hoping to find some small escape from the pain. But it didn't even get slightly better. It was then that he realized he was crying. He could feel the tears coming from his eyes. The pain was moving there now too. Ugh. Unable to bear it, he opened his eyes. He gasped. The whole scene appeared in front of him like some kind of awful magic trick. What's going on? He suddenly heard the sound of something wet dripping on onto the floor. His eyes reflexively turned towards it. His right arm was gone at the elbow, and stump was gushing blood. Damn. There was a pool of it on the floor, and the sound he heard was the new blood splattering into it. Ngocor-ngocor ya darahnya. Otani didn't understand what had happened to him. What was going on? He had just gone to check on a knock at the door. Okay. The pain screamed within him. Any sense of pain in what remained of his right arm was overcome by the pain in his head. He felt nothing from his arm at all, though he saw the blood dripping on the floor. What the hell was going on? He blinked and forced his hatching eyes to function as he looked around the room. On top of his desk, he found the rest of his arm. Akan tangannya, cok. It was sitting on the plate. At first, it looked like it was still in one piece, but it wasn't. Bukan cheese, bro. It was neatly sliced into uniform pieces. Each piece was about a centimeter wide, and the slice moved neatly toward his finger. They sat upon the plate in roughly his arm's original shape. Miraculously, he saw there was no blood on the tip of his index finger. Okay. He still didn't understand that it was really his own arm. but sheer disgust at what he saw caused him to leap out of his chair. Langsung lompat ya deh, bangun gitu. What was this? What kind of prank was this? Prank apa ini deh? Wow, muntah deh. The contents of his stomach flooded into his mouth. He vomited. Muntah deh. The pink fluid splashed against the desk. What the fuck? Muntahnya pink. Okay. He saw something solid in the middle of it. Apa tuh? It was a thumb. Wait, what? Ah, yang pas dia makan itu ya. Dia ngegigit thumb ya. It was covered in bite marks, saliva, and stomach acid, but horribly he remembered it. What? When had he put that into his mouth? In his pain-filled mind, he suddenly heard a sound he had never heard before. Ooh, ooh. Each time he heard the sound, the pain in his head got worse. He turned towards the camera, hoping for an answer to what was happening. But of course, there was none to be found. The screen was still filling with the comment, but his eyes were too filled with tears for him to read them. As the whole world turned red, Otani didn't even realize what his lips were turning purple. Anjir, jadi ungu. His lips had turned purple from lack of oxygen, but were stained red with blood from his severed thumb, which he had chewed himself. As he tried to fight the pain, he began to fall unconscious and tears fell from his eyes. The tears seemed pink to him. Bagi dia pink. Otani was weeping blood. He died, still facing the camera. Okay, cepet juga. His guests watched the chain of events unfold, then suddenly headed for the door. Just before they left the room, goodbye. Okay, they said as if nothing at all was wrong and shut the door. I mean, who are they? God, what the hell? Sick, extra saucy. I'm bored, go back to the usual stream. Ganda modder bang. Shibuya 107 September 19, 2015, Friday night. Okay, kalau ini Jumat malam ya. Momone Takayanagi had finished her concert like always. He stayed behind to help put away the instrument, even help clean up the audience seats, even though that was the concert hall's job. Only after all of that was done could she take a break. There wasn't much time left before her solo street concert, but he still had to help anyway. Wow, sibuk juga nih orang. She had always been like that. Oke, emang dari dulu gitu deh. Even if it wasn't her responsibility, she couldn't help but get involved. Oh, emang dia yang pengen ya? Bukan karena apanya. It was like in middle school when one of her friends who wasn't as good at studying asked her for test notes. Or in high school when a girl she knew asked her how to make Valentine's chocolate for a boy she really liked. She had stayed up so many nights her own test grades were worse than her friend. Anjir, dia malah ini. And she didn't have even anyone to give. Okay. In the end, it was the other person's responsibility, not hers. But basically, I'm just a huge wuss. Momone Takayanagi was at heart scared of not doing everything she could, even if everything wasn't her responsibility. The concert today was another big success. Sure, it was a tiny room that could only fit in 150 people or so. Standing room only, but the tickets were 3,000 yen, high for a band with an amateur vocalist like her. Ayan sih. And they still sold out instantly. Woo, sold out langsung eh. It was bizarre how excited the crowd was. She had heard sobs during the ballad, and during one of the high-tempo songs, the audience had stood up all the way to the back row.
ありえない。
This is impossible. Why? She felt a chill and hugged herself tightly. Oh, sini aku peluk gitu. Teman game ini apakah kita akan bisa jadi Rothschild? Beda dong, for Rizky. Kamu udah stream ya, for Rizky ya? Oh ya, minum dulu. Jangan lupa minum ya, teman-teman. Daripada peluk sendiri kan sini, ayo aku peluk gitu kan. It's not that her band wasn't popular. They had started out in the Nikonia Sang It category. Oh, ini yang tadi. And had kept going by doing cover of popular anime song. Gak ada lagi po. Ya besok lah. Sedang males. It helped that her face, which had earned her the nickname Scarecrow in school, could look really good when she wore makeup. And if all of them put on ridiculous costume and act like idiots, some people would enjoy that. Videos of their concert and performances pulled a decent number of views online. Takayanagi noticed. The vast majority of people looking at the video were people who would come to her concert. Who would come. People who had experienced that insane intensity were going back to the video to try and feel it again. Okay. And Takayanagi knew that they probably wouldn't even 1% feel even 1% of it.
ありえないよ。
It's just impossible. The ticket prices, the audience size, were one thing, but the strangest thing to her was their eyes. Matanya. Their eyes pierced right through her, unblinking. Okay. Terlalu nyorot dia ya berarti ya. They were like pets, totally dependent on their master. The meaning of the lyrics began to take over their life, and they never questioned it.
やっぱり
There has to be
私の声
something
はおか
wrong
しいんだ。
with my voice. Oke, dia ngerasa kayaknya dia punya kayak superpower gitu ya dari suaranya. Pas dia nyanyi langsung kayak semuanya langsung tersorot ke dia, gak kedip gitu. When she first realized that this has happening, she had tried to quit the band. Even if she couldn't, she at least wanted to stop doing the live show where people heard her directly. Karena secara langsung ya kena efeknya gitu ya. But the other around her wouldn't let that happen. Your voice is amazing, they will tell her. They force her to keep singing. Anjir dipaksa ya. Even as the concert began to terrify her, Takayanagi tried to get out of it. But in the end, she kept giving in. Ya, ditahan deh. She owed her fellow band member for getting a planned little girl like her into music. And for a while, part of her managed to have fun. Oke, dapat have fun ya. But in the end, Takayanagi, like the tiny bit of courage needed to break out of the cycle. Iya, dia nggak berani keluar ya. Katanya. She forced herself to get up and head toward the street concert, which she didn't really want to do. Oh, dia nggak mau ya. Training, apa tuh? He had received an email. You read it slowly.
嘘。
No way. He had almost dropped her smartphone. Waduh, kenapa nih? Isi mailnya apa emang? She read it again and again, trying to control her shaking hand. Oke, tangannya gemeter. It was nothing special, just a simple message about one of the songs she had made. Good song. Keep it up. No way. Takayanagi tried to stop the tears, but couldn't. The band would get too many messages like this to count, especially after a concert. You know, it was rude, but to be honest, she was sick of them. But his email address wasn't for her band. It was one for a site where she had anonymously uploaded original song. Okay. In other words, Whoever sent this message hadn't come to her concert. They had never heard her voice live or felt its strange power, but they had still said they like her song.
マジですか？
Really? Oke, dia ngerasa wah, akhirnya ada yang ngerasa yang ngemuji dia tanpa ini ya, tanpa ngerasain kayak power ini itunya gitu ya. Wiping away tears that wouldn't stop, she quickly wrote a response. That makes me really happy. Thank you. Even after she sent it, she kept crying for a while. She hadn't cried this much since the earthquake. Oh. Ini berarti si Chaos Child-nya ya, salah satu si Chaos Child ya. And then she stood up. And stupid things. She took her costume for the day's concert out of her bag, balled them up, and threw them in the trash. Anjir, dibuang. It was a white cape outfit worn by some angel character in some anime. Certain fans really love it, but she didn't care about it at all. Nggak peduli ya. She took a wet towel off a nearby table and finally wiped away her makeup. Okay.
こけしで
I think
上等
I'm okay with being a scarecrow. She was never wearing another cape or putting on makeup to look like an anime character again. Ooh. Never, she said aloud. She realized she was more excited than she had ever been before. And then she started to realize what she wanted to do. Apa
いっ
tuh?
そのこと
I
渋谷を
guess
離れる
I
っての
could
も
just
あり
leave
か
Shibuya. I'm sure
どうせ
things
色々
are
ゴタゴタ
going
しちゃ
to
うんだ
get
ろう
messy
し
here. What will happen if she said she was going to quit the band? It will cause trouble for a lot of people, definitely. Her band was scheduled to play in the Restoration Festival. Oh, ini berarti baru di ini ya, baru pulih ya Shibuya-nya, makanya Restoration Festival ya, Restoration Festival-nya. But even so, she never wanted to sing at another
い
concert.
つもストリートライブをやってる道は
She don't use the street where
常連さん
I've
とかちゃちゃまずいから避
done
けて
shows, or my friends will see me.
大丈夫かこの顔
I'll
だ
be
し
fine with this face. Mana, tunjukin dong mukanya. She laughed and kissed her smartphone.
やばい
Oh
悲
wow,
しい
this is so much fun. She couldn't wait to get home and start fiddling with her music. Over the web, she could really share her music with others. As long as they weren't hearing her voice live, it would be fine. If she just played a recording from a speaker, for example.
小型のスピーカーなら
I've got a small
家にもあ
speaker
った
in
な
my house. Okay, that's right. She would leave Shibuya. And when she had a few more songs, she could record them and play them at a street concert. That speaker was small enough that she could fit it under her clothes to fool people. It would be rude to do the same song every time. So each time she had re-record it at home. Lah, ini ketukan yang tadi. There was a knock at the door. One of the staffer, maybe.
もう出ますから
Jeez, I'm coming. She smiled and answered them. Now that she had thrown away her clothes, her back was lighter than she had ever imagined it could be. That lightness made her think about the future. She was happy. Mana nada ketukannya sama lagi.
Hai
Come in. Takeyanagi happily danced toward the door, completely ignorant of what was on the other side. No, jangan dibuka. September 19th. Shortly after she finished, she was walking through Shibuya. She had a limp and dragged one leg behind her as if it was injured. Her bangs were unnaturally long. Most of her face was covered by them. She wore a dark-colored dress that seemed to melt into the night, and above it, a bright red cardigan. Her chest, arm, and legs were almost completely covered. Despite the fact that the night was still warm, she wore gloves, so if it were a sin to show any skin at all.
ああ
ごめんなさい。
Oh, sorry. You ran into a couple coming out of a hotel and stagger slightly. Mirip si ini ya, sekilas ya. Campuran Ilya sama si Shiro dari No Game No Life. But she didn't even look at the people she ran into. He looked down and disappeared into the street of Shibuya.
誰
What was that,
綺麗
man?
な
But creepy.
ねえ、今の人
Hey,
の顔。
did you see her face?
あ
Huh?
だよ
Why?
気持ち
It
悪い。
was so weird.
何あれ？
What was that?
何？
Those
Ano,
eyes
me?
were so weird. Kenapa matanya? Digital native. Oh, ini baru chapter 1 nih. Tadi prolog ya. Kita baru dikasih tahu start chapter 1. Okay. For example, let's say you ask a kid in middle school, do you know what Schrodinger cat is? Most will say yes, or I've heard of it. Iya, cukup populer ya Schrodinger tuh. We'll start by eliminating the Dikian as who say they've never heard of it. Next you ask, well, what was it? Apa itu gitu? Next we eliminate those poor fools who say it's something about a cat in a box, right? There's this cat, but you don't know if it's alive or dead, right? Or maybe they say there's a cat in a box, and next to it there is a device that may or may not give off poison gas. You don't know if the cat's alive or dead till you open the box. Everybody knows that. We can eliminate this show off as well. Anybody from this group is a wrong-sider. Okay. The right answer will be to describe the experiment and then say it was a thought experiment proposed by Schrodinger to criticize the quantum mechanical theory that state collapse only occur after human observation. But barely anyone can do that. And I will imagine that I'm the only guy who is still in high school who knows that Schrodinger got the idea after exchanging letter with Einstein. Oh, habis tukeran ini ya, surat sama Einstein. I hate wrong-siders. I had taken a break from investigating the two incidents that had occurred recently in Shibuya. I was paging through some channel block aggregators for a change of pace. As always, articles about bad idols and corporations with terrible works environment were getting tons of hits. It was hard to believe that the crash of 15, a huge news story that had just happened this month, was already off the front page. Did the people reading and commenting on these sites realize that everything they read about corporation and idol was carefully controlled? Did they know that most of the big aggregator sites are corporation too? Did they realize that the comments were all manipulated to go one direction or another? Kids our age were living in a world where all the information you could ever want was right at your fingertips. To those of us in the enlightened generation, ignorance was the worst sin. Ada benernya sih, gampang ya kita dapat info ya sekarang. The ignorant were self-righteous, easily manipulated, and eager to push their pepper-thin worldview onto other. They were nothing but a nuisance. The worst of the law were the so-called otaku. I couldn't stand otaku. They were wrong-siders. No, dia tidak suka aku. Take the picture on the cover of this magazine. It was from Blood Soon. Any otaku who just watched it for the cute character was a loser. No. There was no point in watching the show if you were going to ignore its deeper theme. I couldn't stand people who still held to the old-fashioned idea that only otaku watch anime, but people who ignore a show themes and just watch it for the cuteness were even worse. They were ignoring the implicit social criticism hidden in.
何
What? Apa nih? I stare at the magazine in amazement. Specifically, I stare at the box that lists the next episode preview. The text said that Aaron was missing.
バカか
Idiots. Damn it. I had let my guard down because I knew this episode was written by the guy who wrote the original manga.
この原作者は
The original author
原作
doesn't
の
know
ことが分かってい
anything
ない
about his own work. How could you remove Aaron from the story halfway through? Not keeping her around meant bringing all the internal drama that had been built up so far to a halt. God damn it. So much for my change of pace. I knew I had work to do on the case, but I would put it away because I couldn't find any link between the two crimes. I thought for a moment, then I took my magazine from its secret stash. Waduh, banyak nih. Waduh. It was an issue of an older magazine called Cool Cat Press. People call it a dating guide for normal, written by someone who had never dated a girl in his life, but you will be surprised. Apa tuh?
女性が必ず
Magic
落ちる
words to make
告白の
any girl fall in love with you. Stupid. And it was stupid. But when I ran an internet search for their #1 phrases, nothing came back. That was the thing. The fact that it didn't show up on the internet meant to me that it was worth something. Okay, I know this is extraordinarily selfish of me,
好
but
きになってもいい
may
で
I
すか
fall in love with you?
何を
With who? Loh, itu siapa yang balas? Siapa yang nyawat anjir?
何してんだ
What are you doing? I turned to yell at the voice.
うん
Squirrel girl nih kesukaannya Lord Takoya. Oh?
おのえ
Oh no
お
eh?
前いつ
When did you get here? Oke, nama MC kita siapa? Takuru Miyashiro. I hid my favorite magazine behind my back and tried to calm my racing heart. Even if we've known each other since we were kids, don't comment this. Oh, udah
ノッ
kenal.
クしたよ
I did not.
てか何その雑誌
So what's that
面白い
magazine?
の
Anything interesting?
なんでもない
It's nothing. I couldn't let her find out. This was bad.
どうしたんだよ
What's going on?
なんで制服
Why
着て
are
る
you
んだ
wearing your school
帰ったんじゃない
uniform?
のか
Didn't you go home? Sarika frowned.
今日の部活で事件のこと調べて
You're the
こ
one
い
who
って言っ
told me
た
to
のパパじ
investigate
ゃ
the
ん
crime scene of our club today. Clubnya? Oh, that's right.
はいこれ
Here you go.
追加の現場
More
周り
picture
の
from the
画像
crime
データ
scene. Crime scene apa tuh? Sarika took a USB memory stick out of her purse.
おお
Thanks. Could you transfer it to
つい
my
でに
computer
僕の
for me
PC に
while
入れちゃ
you're
ってく
at
れる
it?
か
Sarika looked a little confused.
珍しいね
That's rare. You
自分の
never let
PC
anyone touch your
触らせるの
computer.
別に
Not really. You're
お前は
allowed.
うーん
Bingung deh, kok dibolehin. She didn't seem to think much of it as she started to copy the data off. Okay, now's my chance. The RV was cramped, but there was a lot of space for storage. I pretended to make tea as I tried to find room on the top shelf. Okay, there's just enough room for one more magazine. And then I heard Pusu found like a small fart from behind me. What the fuck? Small fart? Wait, minum dulu. Jangan lupa minum ya, teman-teman. Oke. Apa tuh emang bunyi apa? Terdiam. I glanced back and saw that Saweria was using mouse with one hand and fiddling with her Gero Froggy Geroro strapped with the other. Geroro? Geroro mungkin. This was my chance. Yeah. Gero Froggy Geroro strap was a soft vinyl cell phone strap I had won in a candy contest when I was a kid. When you push its belly, it's supposed to go Geroro Gero. It turned out to be an incredibly rare prize that could fetch 100,000 yen at auction. But since I was a kid who didn't know any better, I gave it to Saweria as a present. Saweria seemed to really like it, and ever since, she had carried it with her. Dibawa terus ya. Which, well, that was fine, but it was old and faded. When you pressed its belly, it leaked out of its side and made a weird noise. It used to go gero, I think, but now it's just made a strange whooshing sound. Ever since she was a kid, she had a habit of fiddling with it, especially when she was nervous or focused on something. In other words, she was focused on the computer. Now was my chance to hide it. I jammed the magazine onto the shelf and moved something so she couldn't see it.
Mountain view でいいか
Want a mountain view?
いいよ。
Nah, don't waste it. I'm leaving in a
それに
second
すぐに
anyway.
帰るし。
Okay, all done.
はい、終了。
Okay. There were quite a few files on the screen. What bang? Okay, domba tersat.
結構
You
撮っ
took
た
a
な
lot of picture. Any luck?
せ
新しい発見はなか
I
ったよ。
didn't see anything new. What about you,
新し
Taku?
い共通点
Find
見つ
anything
かっ
new
た
that connects the two cases?
いや
No. I shook my head, frustrated.
そっか
Ah, I see. Let's not get frustrated yet.
じゃあ
I'll see you in the
部
club
室で
room tomorrow. Just as she was about to leave, I got an idea.
Ah,
Kemana-mana
oh,
bang nanti. Oh, ano eh? I needed to double check my information. He was in theory a girl.
あのさ
I'm just
例
asking,
え
but
うん
ば
uh-huh.
あ
Well,
なんて
let's
いう
say
か
someone asks you out.
うん
Uh-huh.
いやだから例え
Just
ばこう言われた
hypothetically.
らどう
Okay. What would you
誠に勝
think
手
if
なの
they
です
said,
が
I know
好きになっ
this
て
is
もいいですか
extraordinarily selfish of me, but may I fall in love with you?
さっき言ってたやつ
Is that what you were just saying?
それはいい
Never
から
mind that. What do you think? Saweria thought for a second.
年下なの
Is this
この人
person younger than me? Waduh, apa nih?
丁寧語だから
Since they're being so polite. That's true. Come to think of it. Why was it so polite? Anyway,
年下なの
maybe they are...
いや
And then-
そうじゃなくて
Never mind. What do you think?
どうって
Well, I think it's
丁寧
really
だ
polite,
な
but
告白されたことないからよく
no,
わかん
but
ない
nobody ever asked me out, so I don't know.
他には何か思わないか
Anything else?
こう
Like,
素
oh,
敵
how
だなと思った
romantic.
り
うん
Not
別に
really. That will
相手
depend
に
on the
よるんじゃない
person, right?
あ
Grr. What's going on here, cool cat? It will depend on the person asking the question. Of course it would.
あそうだ
Oh,
忘れ
right.
てた
I forgot. Lupa apa tuh? Saweria stretched out her hand.
500円ちょうだい
Give me 500 yen. Waduh. Kenapa kok minta? Kaget
こ
deh.
れこれ
Here,
忘れ
here.
てた
I forgot. She showed me the paper bag she was holding.
さっきそこで
I
ゲン
just
さ
ran
んに
into
会ったの
Gen. He gave me
特にい
this.
つものだって言って
Said it
渡
was
してくれ
your
って
usual.
特
I
価で
paid him
500
500
円でいい
いつもの
My usual. Apa tuh? Oke, diambil dari bagnya. Gen's usual changed every time I told to him, so I couldn't count on it. What was it today? That drunk old bastard.
何いつも
What's your
のって
usual?
なんでもない
Nothing. Here, 500 yen.
500円
Okay. Ignoring her persistent question, I led her to the door. I'll see you at school tomorrow.
え
Katanya.
データはありがとう。
Thanks for the pictures. They're a big help.
わかったよ。
Fine. Reluctantly, she left my room. Emang isinya apa? Damn it. Sure, this was what I always bought from Gan, but the information in the last one was no good. What the heck was a cool cat anyway? A cold cat. Is it cold because it's dead? Bisa jadi. 100 ways to secretly show your sexy side. What the fuck? No. I needed to hide this too. But I had so many of them now. I was running out of room to on the top shelf. Whoa. When I tried to force it in, a mountain of old paper came falling out. Damn it. No room, huh? What is this? It was an old scrapbook about the murders that had occurred 6 years ago in Shibuya. I had bought it from Gan too, come to think of it. I had already scanned it, but had forgotten to throw out the original. How could I, of all people, be so lax with information? I just have to bundle it up with the rest of my collection. My eyes linger for a second on the page. Come to think of it. I quickly ran over to my PC. I opened the files on the case that I had been looking for.
マジか。
Seriously, my words were a whisper. I looked back at the scrapbook, then compared it to the data on the PC. There was no doubt. I kept looking at it and it kept saying the same things. But this, if my hypothesis was right,
きっと
I'm sure even the
警
police
察
haven't
も気がつい
noticed.
てないぞ。
Wait, kata bentar. Oke, I'm back. So far sih story-nya bagus sih. Nggak ada yang jelek gitu. Dan tapi ini masih kayak ini sih. Masih yang visual novel biasa yang nggak ada gameplaynya gitu. Kan sebelumnya kita ada main juga dan dia Spec Chunsoft juga, itu kan dengan Ron masuk Spec Chunsoft kalau nggak salah itu deh. Itu kan ada gameplaynya, ada kayak kita jalan, ada kayak kita nyari-nyari infonya, terus ada apa namanya tebak-tebakannya, kayak nyusun misterinya. Tapi ini baru salah satu gameplaynya sih yang pencet scroll. Oke, kita baca. Strange sumo sticker increasing in Shibuya. Sumo sticker. Name: Finance Milker reproduction prohibited. What the? Lately, sticker with the face of sumo wrestler on them have been appearing around Shibuya. You started seeing them on sign and guardrail all over Shibuya for 5 or 6 years ago. There are a lot of other stickers put up by graffiti artists, but Shibuya, in particular, has a huge number of the sumo sticker. Some have speculated they are a message from a terrorist group, or perhaps a cult. Cult, anjir. But as of now, that's nothing more than a hypothesis. When asked about the sticker, a 41-year-old man who worked at the Jangan, Shibuya hair salon said, "They're creepy. I wish whoever it was will stop destroying Shibuya landscape." Sometimes residents will take them down only to see them reappear later. Shibuya City Hall says, quote, "We are continuing our community outreach effort to help stop these stickers from being put up, but also there are no plans to use city funds to remove the sticker. Police have said that placing this sticker on public property is misdemeanor, but it's extremely difficult to prosecute without catching someone in the act of doing so. They have no current plans for dealing with the sticker. Either the citizens of Shibuya are going to be stuck with this sticker for a while, it seems." Okay, after I saw one 2 years ago, I've just seeing them everywhere. It feels like even more lately. Ini bisa dipencet gak? Nggak bisa ya? Oh, nggak bisa. So another one today. Oh, ini yang di trailer. These two. What the fuck, lol. There was another escalator at the Hikari wall. How the hell did they get one down there? I wonder if it's still there. Took this a few years back. I saw that one too, lol, that crazy. What's one those? I always feel sick when I see that face. I once threw up when I saw one of those stickers. It sucks. Whoever put them needs to fall. Foto apa tuh? I heard if you scribble on top of one of the sumo wrestler curses you. Anyone else noticed that it's almost impossible to get the damn things off? So my first one today. Stop upping these things, Anon. There are shit ton of them if you image search. I actually saw one of those stickers talking once. It was yelling, "Dosukoi, Dosukoi." I had time for your maths, grandpa. Time for your maths, yeah. Somebody make a Delu map that lists all their location. It'll be at it for years. So if you go to Shibuya, you get stare wrapped by sumo wrestler, right? What the fuck? Stare rape? I don't understand the sluts that go to Shibuya to enjoy that. What the fuck? So if you they should just put up a bunch of cute anime girl sticker instead, like Hanona or Seiratan. Then all the otaku dork will move from Akihabara to Shibuya. Anjir, dia pengen ngebersihin Akihabara dari perwibuan ya. I vote for Hangetsu Kamiyama. The pressure coming from Ryogoku. Okay. This is prophecy unto you. Someday we'll see a sumo judge sticker. True that. 192 maksudnya apa dah? Okay. Then what?
この時はまだ
At this point,
歴史シールはごく一部で話題になっているくらいのものでしかなかった。
only a few people were talking about the sumo wrestler sticker.
一体誰が予想できる？こんな気味の悪いシー
Who
ル
could
が
have known that this
後に世界を
eerie
揺
sticker
るが
will
す大
mark
事件の
the beginning of a world-changing event? Huh? World-changing ya? Oh, jadi yang tadi yang naratornya itu kayaknya itu deh, dia di masa depan gitu. And so, this is a magazine article about the incident that occurred on 7.
7日ってと
The 7,
ニコニア生放送中の公開自殺か読んだよその記事
The suicide that took place during a Niconia stream, right? I read that article.
自殺と決まった
We
わけじゃ
don't
ない
know
けど
for sure that it was a suicide though.
ネットでは
People
こっ
on
ち
the
見んな
net are
って言い
calling
方
it
が主流になっ
the
てきた
Don't Look at Me case.
で
And here's the
これ
video
が
of
そ
the
の生放
broadcast.
送の映像
Oh, masih ada ya
そ
videonya
れ
ya?
も見た
I saw
つうか
that too.
一緒に見ただ
Wait,
ろ
we saw it together. Nonton bareng.
で
And
これが
here's
その
the
現場の建
building
物
it took place in.
この絵が昨日
Oh no, it took some more
さらに追加
photos
してきた
for me yesterday.
それも知ってるって
I know that too.
で
And
これが
this is
その部
the
屋の中
inside of his room.
嘘
No
お前撮った
way.
の
You took this?
てかどうやって
When? Wait, how? Schoolboy. Gak dikasih namanya. Until then, Ito had been disinterestedly pointing his camera at the colorful decoration in the hallway, but this got his attention. Iya, tadinya nggak begitu interested, tapi ini ya narik perhatian dia. Of course it did. No one else had seen these pictures yet.
先週末な
Last weekend, you can see the room from the 5th floor of the karaoke place on the other side of the street.
マジで
Seriously?
Eh,
Okay.
ここ
Here.
この5階から
Lantai 5. You could always count on him to be interested when it came to new information. Jadi semangat ya dia.
で何
Oh, namanya
お前
Shinji
一人で
Ito.
入ったのか
So what? You went it by yourself?
いやいやカラオケボックスに人か
I
ら
mean, you went to the karaoke place by yourself for karaoke alone?
仕方ないだ
I
ろ
didn't have a choice.
別に恥ずかしいことじゃないそ
And
れに
it's
歌っ
not
たわけじゃない
embarrassing.
か
I
ら
didn't sing, so it wasn't really karaoke. To be honest, I was a little embarrassed. The guy at the counter, who was probably just a part-timer, had stared at me suspiciously. Emang aneh ke karaoke box sendiri ya? Well, I had attract his attention by coming in during in the middle of the day in my uniform. And since I had never been there before, he made me fill out membership paperwork. I didn't know how to do it, so it took a long time. And actually, I had actually never been to a karaoke place before in my life.
よし
Alright,
Okay.
I got this.
次行こう
Let's go to the next one.
めんどくさいな
This is such a pain. When we went over to the gym from the second floor hallway, it was filled with students laughing over who knows what. The whole school was getting ready for the culture festival next week. This year's festival was supposed to be a big one. Oke, kita di Hekiho Academy ya. Hekiho Academy was the first private high school built as part of the restoration effort. And so it was attracting a lot of attention. Oke, ini kita temanya tetap di Shibuya. Jadi kayak ini kota baru di restore. Berarti ya kurang lebih ya yang aku tangkap ya. Dan ada kejanggalan-kejanggalan gitu dari baru ininya. Tapi berarti asumsiku ini kayak sebenarnya meninggalkan radioaktif gitu loh di tempat yang bekas earthquake-nya. Cuman karena nggak tahu, karena mikirnya itu earthquake, jadi tetap di rebuild dan digunakan buat tinggal gitu. Karena gempanya juga aneh. Alhasil menunjukkan kayak anomali-anomali gitu loh pas ditinggalin. One reason why everyone was so excited for the school fair was the school's lax rules, with lots of clubs and activities. But the biggest reason was the Shibuya Peace and Restoration Festival 2 months from now. 2 months from now, on November 9th, will mark 6 years since the Shibuya earthquake. 5-year anniversary fair last year had affected the whole town. Since the school was in Shibuya too, it would include us. We were just a simple high school, but now our cultural festival was being treated as a prelude to the big one. Supposedly there will be TV camera filming the day of the event.
うわ
Wow,
あの
aren't those
立ち物の着ぐるみ
customer
大丈夫か
copyrighted?
よ
Can they get away with
何
that?
今してんだ
And wait, why are they wearing them now? Ito turned his camera towards a group of people pretending to be pro wrestler. Ito and I were the newspaper club, and it was our job to record the festivities. The principal had ordered that all club were to participate in the cultural festival, and recording the festivities was our way of getting by without having to do much work. Recording video and taking photo was my hobby, and more than anything, it seemed like the way that would demand I burn the fewest calories. I couldn't see myself participating in any of the usual festival nonsense, like the basketball team's fried baseball ice cream stand. Fried baseball ice cream? What the fuck is that? Which was probably just regular fried ice cream in a bowl. Or the Pro Wrestling Research Club mascot, Pro Wrestling, or even the scenes that the Mystery Club and Fortune Telling Club were putting on together.
暇なんだろ
They probably just don't have anything better to do.
ちょひげを引っ
Hey,
張んな
don't
って
pull my
もげる
whiskers. You'll rip them off.
はあ、これ
Huh?
触覚じゃない
Aren't
の
these antennae?
どう思うよ
What do you think? If they were antennae, wouldn't you look cuter if you ripped them off?
え、何、
Eh? What?
私
Do I
そのくだら
really
ない
have to
質問
answer
に
such a
答えなきゃ
stupid
ダメ
question?
くそ
Goddamn
リア
normals.
充
Kuda in a fire. Buset. Dia membenci normies ya.
おいリア
Hey,
充をバカ
don't
に
make
する
fun
な
of normals. I'm a normal.
僕だって
Huh?
あバカカメ
Hey,
ラ
you idiot. The camera. Yeah, drop it. That thing's expensive.
おい
Oi,
どういうことだ
what do you mean? You are hurting me. Wait, the camera.
裏切ったのか
Did you betray me? Did you lose a level?
彼女なんて
When did you
作りや
get
が
a
った
girlfriend? Who said? Huh? I don't have a girlfriend.
彼女なんて
But forget that.
それより
Pick up the camera.
何
What? I slip out of Ito's grasp and pick up the camera. Looks like it's safe. Good. I relaxed and handed the camera back to Ito.
たく
しっかりしろよ
Please, get a hold of yourself. We are not like them. We are right-siders, right? Want me to give you a lecture about it?
いいかリア充って
Listen,
のは
the
2005
term
年あた
normal
りから
first
使われ
came
出した
into
言葉で
use
リ
on
ア
the Japanese
つまり
internet
現実が
around
充実している連中の総称だ
2004. It referred to someone whose daily life was fulfilling and satisfying.
最初は対義語としてネト銃が挙げられることが多かったけどその境目はもう
That
ほとんどない
distinction
リア
barely
ルの中
exists
にネットが組
anymore.
み込まれてるのが
That's
当たり
because
前
the
になった
net
から
show is on an integral part of every day.
当初は友達が
When
い
it
るだけでリア
first
充と
came
呼ばれていたけど
into use,
次第に恋人がい
simply
ること
having
がリア
friends
充の
was
条
enough to
件になって
qualify as
だがこれも変わりつつ
qualify one as a normal, but gradually this requirement shift into having a lover. But this too is changing.
昨今のリア充は
The
本当の意
modern
味で現
definition
実が
of
充
normal
実
is
してい
now
るかと
someone whose life is
つまり
truly
やりたい
satisfying.
ことができているか
Is
どうか
someone
で
who is
判断
doing
される
what
んだ
they really want
そ
to
ういう意
do.
味で僕は
In
リア
that
充
sense, I'm a normal.
だから暇に任せてふ
Therefore,
ざ
the
けている
people
あいつら
over
は
there
リ
who
ア
are
充なん
screwing
かじゃ
around
ない
and wasting time aren't
言
normal
葉
at
を
all.
正しく
You
使
need
え
to use words correctly. Seriously, he needs to be careful. Just being a wrong-sider by itself is a sin these days. After I finished my lecture, I saw that Ito was staring at me wordlessly. What? Did he not understand it? I had walked him through the entire etymology.
宮代
Miyashiro?
なんだよ
What?
お前はリア
You're
充じゃ
not a
ないよ
normal. Let's use
言葉を
words
正
correctly,
しく
okay?
使おうな
Hmm?
なぜだ
What? Why?
リア充はそんなこと
Normals
言わ
don't
ない
talk like that.
は
Huh?
だからなん
Why?
でだ
And
それ
you
に
know,
補強するな
I've
ら
got
女子の
acquaintances
知り合いもいる
who
んだ
are
ぞ
women,
もちろ
of
ん
course.
男も
men too.
だから リア充はそんな
I
こと
just
言わ
told
ない
you,
んだよ
normal don't talk like that.
理由はなんだ理由は
But what's the
さらに
reason?
付け加えるなら
And may I also add, I quickly swallow my
フ
words.
ァッションの勉強だって
I'm
してい
studying
るんだ
fashion too. I have read them. I had read the new issues of Cool Cat before I put it away. There was an article in it called Utsunomiya's Fashion Leader. I thought it looked pretty good. If I could wear that stuff, I'm sure.
ん
What?
なんでもない。とにか
Nothing.
く僕はな、
I'm telling you, I'm
ああわかったって
sure. Whatever,
次行こう
man.
ぜ
Let's go. As he walked away, I turned my eyes toward the group of mascot pro wrestler.
わかった
Alright,
じゃあもう
then
全
we'll
員で同じ
all
着
wear
物
the
にしよ
same
うぜ
outfit.
ああ戦
Oh,
隊
like
の風だ
Sentai Ranger? We can
色分けしようよ。
split the
私
colors
イエロ
up.
ー。
I'll be yellow.
その方が受け取れるか。
The audience
で
will
も予
love
算
it,
は
but do what we have the budget.
あんたの小遣いがある
You've
じゃ
got your
ん
allowance, right?
バカじゃないの
Shove it.
それか
Or we could
体に
paint the
直接塗るか。
colors onto our
受け
bodies.
取れればいいん
It
で
just
しょ
has to get off, right?
こっちは
I'm
忙しい
busy.
んだ。
おかえりなさいませ
Welcome back,
ご主人様
Master Karen.
可愛くなくね
It's not very cute,
もうちょっと
is
ど
it?
うにかな
Can we
ね
fix that?
可愛くないとか言う
Don't
な
say that it's not
てか
cute. And
別
wait,
にウェ
it's
トレ
not
スって
fair
女子限
that
定じゃ
only
な
the
くていい
girls
じ
are
ゃん
waitresses.
男子もやんな
The
よ
boys should be waitresses too.
ゲロカエルンってあんな語尾
Did
で
Ghetto
喋るキャラクター
Froggy really talk like that? Ghetto Froggy. Ito had just finished recording the going on in this classroom. Nah, ini maksudnya apa sih? Tiap dia kayak gitu sini.
どうでもいいよ。
It doesn't matter. Padahal nggak ada optional atau apapun gitu loh. Kayak seolah-olah ini momen kita disuruh pilih sesuatu gitu. This was class. Okay. Class 3-1. Ito's and my class. Most of the class was busy with the Gero Froggy Cafe we were doing for the festival. Some people were ignoring the fuss and studying. Some of the otaku were reading light novels. Did they really think that if they left the paper cover from the bookstore on it, they couldn't tell it was a light novel? They were just trying their best to stay out of the way. Minum. Most of people were happy making Gero Froggy decoration and putting on Gero Froggy costume and messing around. All the clubs had to participate in the festival, but so did all the classes. No one had told me, but evidently several months ago, we had decided to do a Gero Froggy themed cafe.
バカ。
You
Gero
dummy,
Froggyの声
Gero
は
Froggy
女じゃん。
has a girl voice.
いやそうだけどさ
Oh sure, but it's
そこ
just a
は文化祭の
culture
ノリ的なあれでいいじゃん
festival. We've
別
allowed to
に
change it.
違うって。
That's wrong.
Huh?
Huh? Ito tilted his hat in confusion and decided to get back on topic. I took out my Pokécom and showed it to Ito.
で、
So here the
これが今
image
月
of the
の19日の事件
19th of this month. 19th?
音漏れたんか
Leaky noise. Let me see it.
これはまだ見てないなどこで拾った
I haven't seen this one before. Where did you get it?
事件のまとめウィキに一瞬な。消される前に魚拓取っ
It
た。
showed up for an instant on the aggregator wiki. I scrubbed it before it got deleted.
ああこっちの方がアングルいいな
This one is got a nicer
さっきのカラ
angle.
オケのやつと合わせて
Right?
ニヤドにアップ
Hey,
させ
let
てく
me
れよ
up this let me up this to Nikonia along with the stuff you took from the karaoke box.
もう新聞部のオンラインストレージに上げてある。
I've
見やすい
already
ように加工して
uploaded
使ってくれ。
to the newspaper club's online storage. Make sure adjustments so it's easier to say. Then do what you want with it.
なんか最近再生数がいまいち伸びないんだよな。
Views have
こ
been
の
kind
前
of
俺
bad
一人で作っ
lately.
た動画のタ
The
グにも
last video
カ
I
メラ仕
up
事しろとか
got
アン
tagged
グル
with the
大体合ってない
cameraman
と
do
か
your
書かれる
damn
し。
job. This angle sucks. Well, I knew how he felt. Foto aja kali. The Hekiho Academy Newspaper Club had been in the first place in nation, blah 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 blah. Nih, aku pakai F3 nih. Auto nih. Our paper dealt with anything involving Shibuya. We had done a special onto Shibuya restoration once that a local paper had written about. Okay. We won a special prize at the city journalism contest, and the video got over 80,000 views despite being boring as hell. Oke, meskipun bosannya dapat 80.000 views gede loh. Lumayan, tapi kan karena jurnalis ya. After that, though, I could understand being upset at the fact that new videos dealing with going on in Shibuya weren't breaking 2 digits. Oke, udah nggak nyentuh puluhan ribu lagi ya. Oke.
ああ、カメラ仕
Oh,
事
I
し
was
ろ
the
のタ
one
グを
who
つけた
put
のは
that
僕だ。
cameraman. Do
I
your
don't
damn
know,
job,
Hidoizo.
tag on. That angle was crap, man. Ta-da! Got it. Apa tuh?
おお、オリジナルじゃん。
And it's an original. Hello Nepu, welcome to the stream.
疲れた。
I'm so tired. Katanya. A boyfriend and girlfriend walk in, evidently back from shopping. Okay. Ini kita pakai auto aja. Their arms were fully of Ghetto Froggy stuffed animal. Oh.
だから違うって。
I told you what's wrong.
はいや、だから何が
What's
だよ。
wrong? Masalah apa? Kito hadn't noticed then. I look at my classmates who were already beginning to play with their new toys and said, ngomong apa dia?
前も話したことあったろ。
I've told you this before, right? You can tell your average teenager information level by knowing what sites they go to. Okay, sites apa emang? This is a personal theory of mine. A smartphone, Pokecoms have become a religion. The modern teenager and information they gain from these portable terminals had huge influence on their life. Okay. Some people only look at SNS like Twitter, Vine, Facebook, anjir diplesetin ya. Other at Aichan and Nico. Okay. Some look at all those as well as the link they found there. Then some look at all those things as well as their favorite celebrity blogs, the big Aichan aggregators, and then whatever humor site was popular at the moment. Okay. All of these people were wrong-sider. Okay. Jadi wrong-sider yang sering di internet lah ya. And the scary things was these days 9 out of 10 wrong-sider were teenager. Anjir, 90%-nya ya kurang lebih ya teenager. Ghetto Froggy launched 6 years ago with a cell phone strap that had gotten popular for a reason no one ever understood. Tiba-tiba nge-blow up aja ya. And then lately, a combination of Ghetto Froggy memes on Twitter. Ada meme ya. Well, as an amateur anime posted to Nikonia, if I remember right, it was a talking dancing frog singing anime themes. Ini Nikonia ini mungkin plesetan Nikoniko kali ya. Created a fad. Though I hated to use the word for something so stupid. It amazed me that people honestly believe that the rabbit sounds made by the female actress in those videos were from the original. Or that the original was stuffed animal that had come out recently and not the phone strap. My guess was that they only got their information from Twitter.
それに
男の場合はウェイトレスじゃ
And
な
a
くてウ
man
ェイターだ
can
っ
be a
て
waitress. Is a waiter. Iya sih, bener sih. This was one of the reason I joined the newspaper club. I didn't want to end up like them. Anyway,
宮代くん
Miyashiro-kun, a girl, evidently the one in charge of the waitresses, was talking to me. Who was she again? Fujita? Fujimoto? I think there was a Fuji.
何田中さん
What is it? Tanaka-san? Tanaka, I was totally
あの
wrong.
さ教室で流す映
What
像
the
のビデオ
videos
撮
we are
影の
going
こ
to
とな
be
んだけど
playing
さ
what was she talking about? Alright, they were going to make their own version of Nikonia video where they wore costume and dance.
そのアップとかできるのかなこうずっと同じで
Do
撮る
you
んじゃな
think
く
we could
て
do something close up or something? Wait, bentar. Bentar. What was he telling me to do? I didn't volunteer to videotape it. You guys forced me. Videotape apa tadi? Well, it was better than being told to dance or make props myself.
Ah,
Well,
そ
You.
その
you see?
ん
You
フィックス
don't
じゃな
want
くて
a fix.
いろいろ動かせってい
You
う
want
こ
us to
と
move
ですか
around.
フィックス
Fix?
よくわかんないけど
Maksudnya apa?
あできますよアッ
We
プで
can
も
do it. We
なん
can
で
do
も
close-ups or whatever.
本当よかった
I'll write it
じゃあ、
up how
本番ま
we
でに
want
ど
you
こを
to
どう
do
撮って
it
ほしいかま
and
とめ
give
て
it to
渡
you
すから
before the shoot. And then she flat. What if what the? That surprised me. Don't scare me like that. I was so nervous. I was sweating a little. Ini MC-nya ya. Ito was looking at me and sighing. What? Yeah, apa?
お前
No way, are you
野獣じゃ
a
ないわ
normal man? What?
相変わらず慣れない相手だと挙動るし丁寧語だし
You're freak out whenever you're talking to someone new.
しょうがないだろ
I can't help it. She came out of nowhere. Yes, sih, tiba-tiba nung. And what's more, I made it a policy not to talk to anyone unless it was necessary. It was the first time in quite a while I had spoken to any of my classmates but Ito. Selain Ito ya. Cukup lama autonya.
どうだった
How did it go?
なんか自慢されてなかった
He was bragging about something,
Fix とか
right?
なんとか
Fix or something.
んだそれ
What more
うんちくか
techno babble? They had already started to spread meaningless information. Meaningless information, eh? Stop it. Hearing whisper about me in the classroom brought back bad memories. I was starting to have a hard time breathing. Okay.
おい
Oi,
大丈夫か
you okay? I must have looked like I was in pain because Ito was looking at me with concern on his face. I quickly nodded to show that I was fine.
陰口は聞こえ
If
ない
you
よう
want to
に
talk
言えっての
behind
な。
someone's back, do it where they can't hear
ちなみにで
you.
もうんちく
And
で
it's
も
not
なんでもないっ
bragging,
ての。
and it's not technobabble.
別に
It
気にしてな
doesn't
いよ。
bother me. Fujita is...
誰だよ。
Who is Fujita?
あ、
Oh,
田中さんは
Tanaka is just a
長尺
wrong
なだけなん
sider.
だから。
That's right. It wasn't worth worrying about. She was just ignoring. Ito looked over at our teacher classmates who were having fun.
ったく、オポチュニストが。
Freaking opportunists. Opportunists? What did that mean again? I know I have heard it before. I ran a search on my pocket comm, making sure not to let Ito see. Opportunist who one who takes advantage of any opportunity to achieve an end.
そうだな。
That's right. I think that's exactly the right
み
word.
んなと同じ
They
方向に
will
ひよってるだ
all,
けだよ。
they will all I'll take blah
ま
blah blah
った
blah.
くな。
You've got that right. Ito nodded and annoyed. Good. Looks like he didn't find out. Do the
いつの
otaku
時
at
代
the
もスクー
bottom
ル
of
カ
the
ーストの
school
底辺にいる
has
俺ら
it?
オタクは上部にいる方たちに
System
話のネ
always
タを
to
提
have
供す
blah
る
blah
運
blah
命
blah.
な
Something
の
to
か。
talk about? Hold it. The school caste system wasn't something I care about, but ada kastanya ya.
僕
Hey,
はオタクじゃ
I'm
ない
not
ぞ。
an otaku.
またかよ。
Not this again.
またってなんだ。
What do you mean
理屈
again?
に合わ
I
ない
just
ことが
don't
気持
like
ち
it
悪いだ
when
けだ。
people are
一石
wrong. Do you want...
いいぶたなくていい。
No, I do not want a lecture.
オタクの定義は
The
流動してい
definition
て、
of the
当初あっ
word
た悪いイメージ
otaku
は
is
徐々に払
changing.
拭されつつ
And
あ
the
るけれど、
negative connotation it originally had are blah blah
2015
blah.
現在で
Even
も
now, in
アニメやらラノ
2015,
ベや
it's
らゲ
still
ームやら
mostly
アイドルやらにハマっ
served
ている人
to
のことを指す
denote
場合が大半だ。
those obsessed with anime, light novel, blah blah blah. That I saw a boy reading a light novel turn toward me, but I didn't care.
僕はくだらない
I
アニ
don't
メやラ
watch
ノベは
stupid
見ない。
anime or read stupid light novel. It's a waste of time. Enggak juga sih. Kamu
以
dapat
前
fun nih, guys.
お前なんかの
Weren't
ア
you
ニメを
going
絶
on
賛して
about
なか
how
った
great
か。
some
なんだ
anime
っ
was?
けブラチ
What
ュ
was it? Platoon?
くだらないア
I
ニメは
said
見な
I
いと
don't
言った
watch
んだ。
anime. That's stupid.
素晴らしきかな我が人生や。二人の
It's
ベ
no
ロニカとか
different
の
than
名画を
people who
検索しよ
ignore
うとすら
quality
せずに、
movies like the
同じよう
two
なアニメばっか見
Veronicas
て、
or It's My Wonderful Life and just watch the same stuff over and over again.
このアニメを見てない奴はにわかだとか言ったり、
Anyone who hasn't seen the show is a casual.
わかったわかった
I
っ
get it. I
て。
get it.
数列都市や冬の庭とかの
People
名
who
著、
lie about
あ、い
having
いよねとか嘘ついて済ま
having
せ
rape
て
books
ラノベばっか読ん
like
でい
the
る。
cities in the sequence or Winter Garden and just read light novel all day.
そういう自分の好きな知
The
識
word
しか吸収
otaku
しないや
refers
つ
to
を言うん
people
だ。
like that
オタク
who
っていう
only
のは
bother to absorb information that subject they enjoy.
カメラオタクってなんか
Camera
怪しいイメー
otaku
ジある
always
よ
seem
な。
like a bunch of weirdos to me.
別に人様に迷惑かけなければいいんじゃん。好きなんでしょ。
As long as
うちだって
they're not
ジョニオタ
bothering
だし。
anyone, who cares? I'm a Joni otaku myself. Stop it, please. More than anything, I don't want to be the same as you people. And then the door to the classroom flew open. A female student was looking in. She must have been in a hurry because she was a little out of breath. She brushed her long hair out of her eyes and was about to come inside.
ノノどうし
No,
た
no,
の
no, what's up?
おお、上帝、ちょうどよかった。
Oh, Empress, perfect timing. The whole class started to talk to her. Anjay, Empress eh?
ちょっと
Hold on. He was about to say something when her foot caught on one of the cables running across the room. Aduh, cukup ini ya. Cukup trouble ya. Ah, gitu. And she suddenly tripped. Ya iyalah, kena kabel. She almost tripped but managed to keep her balance. Anjir, boleh juga. Sedih dia. She smiled a bit and took a deep breath. All the students around her, began to move. They surrounded her as if they were welcoming a long-lost family member. Anjir. Popular itu dia.
ちょっと誰
Hey,
こんな
who
ところ
put
にケ
this
ーブル置きっぱなしにしたの
here?
危ないな
That's dangerous. Ada peduli semua ya.
ご
No,
め
no,
ん
no,
ね
I'm so sorry.
女帝大丈夫か
Empress, you okay?
ええ
Yeah,
気にしないで
don't worry about me. She answered them with a smile. I felt like our eyes met. Okay. I look away without thinking. Oh, langsung buang muka gitu ya. Nono Kurusu, the first student council president of Hekiho Academy.
あのさ、うちの喫茶
So
で
for
キ
our
ッチン側
cafe,
と
we've got
それ以外のこっち側の
kitchen and
うん
another
なんていうの
part. What do you
お客さん
call
の
it?
スペースって
Where
か
the customer sit. Kurusu smiled a little as she spoke.
ホール側
You mean the hole?
そうそうホールだ
Yeah, the
そ
hole.
のさ
Mr.
間を仕切
Wiki,
る暗
just
幕
the
の数
number
の
of
調
the
整ってワックンしてくれた
curtain. Curtain. We've got blah blah
調
blah.
整
Adjust. Did
涌井先
Mr.
生が
Waki say he
増
was
田君にそう言
going
った
to
の
do that? Masuda?
え
Hmm?
聞いて
You
ない
hadn't heard?
ええ
Nope. Which
ということ
means
は
he
絶対やって
definitely
ないでしょうね
didn't do it.
わかった
Fine.
私から
I'll
言ってお
talk
く
to him. Whoosh.
大丈夫
You sure?
なんか
The
女
teacher
帝
seems to
先
have
生たちから
their
目つけ
eye
られてんじゃ
on
ん
you, Empress.
てか
Actually, they seem to
怖がられてんじゃん。
scared of you.
生徒
Apakah
会
what
長
the
なんて
student council
生徒側から
president's
学校
job
側
is
に
to
無
make
理
the
難題を押し
teacher's
付けるた
life
めにいるもので
difficult
しょ
for the
大
benefit
丈
of
夫
the student.
なけなしの権力を振りか
I'll
ざ
use
すから
what little power
あ
I've
とマスタ
got.
ク
Oh,
女
and
帝は
Masuda,
や
stop
めて
calling me Empress.
ほうサンキュー
Thank
女
you,
帝
Empress.
あなたね
No. Listen, you. Sabi, si Empress. Most of the boy in the class call Kurusu Empress as a joke. Kenapa? She had gotten the name after becoming a hero to her fellow student through gallant deeds like putting an end. Oh. Pas lagi ini ya, pas lagi pidato atau ceramah ya. Dibikin manyun guru-gurunya. Not to mention bringing more types of bread to the school store. Oh, cukup impactful ya bocahnya.
ノーノー着ぐるみあ
And
り
for
が
the
とね
costume, no, it was perfect fit.
田中それ
Tanaka.
私が試着し
When
た
I
時
wore that, I
最後まで
couldn't
ファス
get
ナ
the
ー上がらなかっ
zipper
たんだけど
all the way up. What the fuck?
あ
Oh, should I have kept my mouth shut?
呼び込み禁止
I
にす
can
るから
stop you
ね
guys doing any advertising, you know?
あーごめん
I'm sorry, it
嘘
was
嘘
a joke.
ピチピチだ
You
か
are
ら
just fine.
これは割と
I mean
マ
it.
ジで
Wait, it probably got
ど
stuck
うせ
on your
胸が引っ
breast.
かかったんでしょ
Anyway, didn't it?
冗談
It was a joke.
期待してるから
I'm counting on you,
笑い
okay?
とってよ
Get lots of laugh. You sure was popular. Yeah, popular, bro. Even knew the names of students in the other classes? The top of the school caste system. That was the first phrase that came to mind. Kasta paling atas ya dia. And then
タクル
Takuru,
話があるの。
we need to talk.
ちょっと
Can
来
you
てくれ
come
る
with me? Wah, kita yang ngomong berdua. Kurusu walked all the way over to me and Ito. Her expression was so kind. It seemed like she had to be putting on some kind of act. Apa tuh? Could see all the people who had been surrounding her were staring at me. Anjir, ditatap kita, bro. Pada cemburu ya? What does the
カメラ
Empress
こり
want
何の
with
用だ
the camera
友
kid?
達なのか
Are they friends?
知らないの
What?
Nono
You
wa-
didn't know no is...
はあマジで
Seriously? I ignore my classmate, whisper and focus on Kurusu. Huh? Kenapa emangnya? Her smile seemed fake, as if it had been plastered onto her face. Whenever she smiled like that, it meant she wasn't in a good mood.
今はごめん。
Sure, I can't know. I just figured out something about the
事件に
case, and I'm
それ
putting
を
it
まとめ
together.
てる。
うん。
No, nangis
Seitokai
ya. The student
Bunkasai no
council really
junbi ga
busy with the
kakyou
culture festival right now,
だから
right?
クルス
So
が
one
落ち着いたので
is calm down. Her cheeks twitch a little. Kuroso didn't like it when I called her by her last name.
ちょっと
Can you come with me to the club room
This-
really quick? I could sense a dark aura forming around her, hardly befitting a so-called empress.
来てくれ
Can
る？
you? Waduh. Udah diginiin guys. Gak bisa sih. Gak bisa sih. Gak bisa sih diginiin nih dah. He was so close to me.
行こうか
Let's go to the club room.
Nah,
That cool
Miyashiro.
with you, Miyashiro? Ito couldn't handle the terror. It didn't look like I could talk my way out of this one. Seeing no other choice, I nodded and stood up.
クルス
Kurusu.
クルス
Kurusu,
ちょっと
you got a second?
グラウンドに出す屋
This is
台の
about the
コンロの
portable
数でしょ
stuff for all the food
Yappari
stall on the field. We decided that every stall get one.
いや、それ
But
は
that's
おう
okay.
悪いけど例外は
Sorry,
な
an
し
exception.
校
I
長に
spoke
掛
to
け
the
合ったけど
principal,
ダ
but I
メだったか
couldn't
ら
get him to change
人
his
数が多
mind.
くて不満がある
If
ところは
any
私が後
of
で
the
直接
bigger
説明
group
に
are
行く
still upset, I'll go talk to them myself.
了解。
Roger, I
い
mean,
や、じゃなく
wait,
て、
why
なん
aren't
で持
you
ち場離れ
where
て。
you're supposed to be?
クルス
Kurusu, I
だから
told you that
忙しかっ
if
たら
you are
落ち
busy,
着
we
いたら
can
で
do
いいって
this later.
もう終わったから
I'm done. Sorry, Kawahara, I'm in a
Kawahara-kun.
hurry right now.
急ぎなの
Her tone was gentle but broke no argument as she hurried to the club room. Apa ini bocah?
宮代
Miyashiro,
Mata
you
omae ka.
again. What did you do this
今度は
time?
何したんだ
Kawahara cut her off. I didn't know his first name. He was in the same class as Ito and I, and he was the vice president of the student council.
いや、いい。
No,
言わな
you
くても
don't
分
need
かって
to tell me. You were pretending to
Mata
be a
例の
reporter
くだらない記者
again,
ごっこ
right?
だろ？
Or was it a
それとも
detective? I knew why he was giving me a hard time. He didn't like the fact that Kurusu was spending time with me.
別に。
It's not.
何
What?
か
It's not
Kawahara-kun
any
に
of your
迷惑は
business, I
か
think.
かってるんだよ
It's my business. When you take up Kurusu's time, you cause trouble for me and the rest of the student council. I'm not wasting my time with this. There's no point. I tried to ignore him and just walk on by.
お前
I heard you skipped
Shou,
most
Jun
of
to
the
Fukuoka
elementary
datta.
and middle school. Is that true? I could feel my legs tense up. I stopped. My face got hot, and without thinking, I glared accusingly at Kurusu. She quickly shook her head.
川原くん急いでいるから
I'm really in a hurry right now. Gak terima dia. But he kept on staring at me. I felt like he was grinning a little. It pissed me off. But there was nothing I could say. I did the best I could to ignore him and turn away. I ignored what sounded like a little laugh and hurried to the club room.
違うから
It
ね
wasn't me, okay? The second the three of us were alone in the club, her expression changed. The smile plastered on the student council president's face disappeared. This was who she really was.
何が
What was
川原くんが言ってたこと
what Kawahara was saying? I didn't tell him, okay?
別に
It didn't
気に
bother
してな
me.
いよ
嘘
You're lying. Really, it didn't. Everything about me was different than it used to. So,
まあまあ
what did you want to
で、
talk about
副部長
something, Miss Vice
話があるんで
President?
しょ
Kursu sighed and changed the subject. Takuro,
Takuro,
are you eating right? You
あな
look
た
like
ちゃん
you've
とご飯
lost
食べ
weight.
てるの？少し痩せたんじゃない？
Where was this coming from?
これからどんどん寒
It's
くなって
going
く
to
るでしょ？
start getting colder
住んでる
soon.
ところの防
You
寒
know,
対策
you
と
can
か
keep warm in the
ちゃんとしてるで
place
し
you
ょう
are
ね。
living in. Can you keep warm in the place you are living in? Prep, she was in knack mode.
進路調
And I
査。
heard you told the
結局
teacher you
就
were
職で
going
提
to
出
get a
したん
job
ですって？
after graduation. I
進
told
学
you
で
to,
提出しなさいって言ったの
to say
に。
you were going to
勉強でき
college.
ないわ
It's
けじゃ
not
ない
like
んだ
you
か
aren't
ら。
smart enough.
確かに今からだと
I
厳
know
し
it's
いけ
going to
ど、
be hard for you
受
to
験なら
start
私の
now,
面倒を見るって。
but I've
これも
told
前
you
に言っ
before
た
that
で
I
しょ？
can help.
調べた
Did you go asking the
という
teacher?
より
And wait,
話ってそれ
is that what you wanted to talk about?
どうなの？
Well, are you
ちゃんと
eating right?
食べてる
I'm
よ
eating just fine.
大丈夫だって
Everything is just fine. I waved my hand to bring the conversation to a close. I didn't want this to end the way it used to, with a 6-hour lecture about how every aspect of my life was wrong, followed by hard labor as my punishment ended. Kurusu looked like she still had a lot more to say, but a moment later,
あなた、先週の金曜日、学校サボったでしょ？
you skipped school last Friday, didn't you? Oh, so that was what all this was about.
サボったよ
Yeah, I did.
別
Is
に
that a
問題ないだろ
problem?
あるに決まって
Of
るで
course,
しょ？
it's a problem. Where were you?
ストレージにアップした画像。あれを取りに行ってたんじゃないの？
You're taking those photos you up to the storage folder, aren't you? Weren't you? Damn it, I figured that would be it. You was right. The picture I had taken from the karaoke box were from last Friday when I had skipped school. I had started staking out the place early that morning and waited for the manager of the condo building to open the curtain.
苦労したんだ
It was a lot of
でもお
work,
かげで警察以外まだ誰も見てない現場の画像
but I
を
was
撮れた
able to get photos of the scene that nobody else has except the police.
こういう事件ばかり追
I
いか
told
け
you
るのを
before
やめ
that
な
you
さい
need
って
to stop
前から言
spending
って
all
る
your
でしょ。
time on this stuff. Kurusu was the vice president of the newspaper club and had been opposed to ethos and my journalistic ethos for a long time. We had spent most of our time investigating crimes in Shibuya. Stuff like the attack on the homeless people that have been flooding the city ever since the earthquake. An urban legend about a company involved in the rebuilding who would put up tons of security cameras all around the city. And serial arson case where the culprit had never been caught. And now this strange staff. For her part, Kurusu said that the student paper shouldn't be investigating crime. He wrote normal censor articles and made normal censor videos. Okay. The videos about Shibuya recovery effort that had won a prize have been mostly her work.
タクル、
Takuro, you're acting
今回
really
あなたおかしい。
strange this time.
学校を
You've
サボって
never
まで
skipped
事件を追
school
うなんて
to do this
今まで
stuff
なかったでしょ。
before, have you? It was true. The reason was why was obvious, right? I was lucky enough to have this huge mystery right in front of me.
今回に関しては学校を
This
サ
is
ボるの
worth
もしょうがない
skipping school for.
なぜ？
Why?
だって新聞部を立ち上げてから初
It's
めて
the
起こった
first big thing
Shibuya
that's
でも大きな
happened
事件
in
じゃないか。
Shibuya since
こんな美
we
味しいネタ。
started the newspaper club. This is a huge scoop.
おい
Meo, hello
し
Bagis,
い。
welcome to the stream. Scoop. Why? That face was so bad news. It was scary. Ito was right next to me. I grabbed him and held him tight.
おい縦にすんなって
Oh, don't use me as a shield. Wait,
縦なの
my shield.
てか副部長
Why
何
is
そ
her
の顔
face so scary?
おいしいです。
A huge scoop. People are
人が
dead,
死ん
and
で
to you
るって
it's
いうのに。
just a huge scoop.
違います
No, I'm sorry.
すいません
Stay away from me. I really can't handle this.
おすんなって
Don't
ちょっ
push
と待って
me.
マジで縦な
Wait,
の
are you really using me as a shield?
やばいやばい
Oh crap, oh crap. That face was seriously bad news. The Empress was scary enough that she could send a demon running in terror. I'll never even mad. I had never even met a demon either. That's just how scary she was.
もう一度言ってくれる？よりによってあな
Got
た
to
が
repeat that?
人が
Want
死
to
んで
tell
美
me
味しい
again how
で
all
す。
this death are just a huge scoop for you? Oh shit. I needed to find some way to stop her. And then I felt the wind rush by my ear.
Huh?
Oh. The fuck? And the worst possible time, the wind blew through the room. Lucy didn't have time to hold down her skirt. Okay, here comes my surf. I got it. My eyes were locked with Kurosu's as I heard the sound of the... There was a tennis court. Okay. There was probably the tennis stem out there. I needed to say something. Was I supposed to tell her I hadn't seen anything? Vice President? Why, huh?
ですね
I guess that's just what I
イ
would
メージ通り
expect.
というか
Idiot, are you trying to get yourself killed? Anjir, udah nih fix.
私の下
Does it really matter what color my underwear is right now, asshole? Hey, katanya. I flinched at the sudden noise. I'm sorry. And then I realized I was sure that sound... Okay, kicking the... Or maybe the sound of her murdering Ito, but I was wrong. Deeper inside the room.
あの子は
That girl.
まったく
Misaha.
和樹来てたの？
Kazuki, are you here?
和樹
Oh, she got her headphones
そうか
on.
ヘッドホン
Kursus saya, okay.
円数
I've
2
told
で
you
イラつい
before
たから
to
って
stop hitting the
壁を
wall
殴るのはやめ
every
なさ
time
い。
something goes
何度も
wrong.
言ってるです。うん。
Hmm.
壁へこんでるじゃないも
Look,
ん。
you're making a dent. Hana Kazuki. The only first year in the newspaper club. To forget her, this was my chance. As Kurusu was rubbing the red marks on Kazuki's side.
とにかく
Anyway, I'm going to keep following this case. I found a
発見があっ
clue,
たんだ
and it might be a
もしかし
big
たら
one.
大きな手がかり
Kurusu glared at me for a moment, but
おおマジ
oh
か
really?
よし
Okay, I'll get ready right away.
聞かせてくれ
Tell
ぜひ
me
聞か
all
せてくれ
about it. I can't wait. Ito hurried over to the club's computer, desperate for any chance to escape his doom. I stared back at Kurusu for a moment and
PC 立ち上げて
put up the computer
Storage
and
の
print
画像
out the
プリントアウ
image
トしてくれ
in the storage folder.
了解だ
Roger. Ito's voice was louder than it needed to be as he turned on the computer.
もう殴らないこと。
No more punching the wall, okay?
うん。
Maybe she took a pity as she took pity on poor Ito because she didn't say anything else. But she still crossed her arm and glared at us as she leaned against the wall. He was at least going to hear me out. It kinda lied. Or maybe this was just her way of making sure I didn't escape.
お前
You
後で
all
飯をおごれよ
realized later
なんでやだよ
why I don't want to.
盾にしやが
For
って
using
気
me
まずす
as
ぎ
a
んだ
goddamn shield.
こんなもん
This was
10-0の巻き込まれ
100% your
事故じゃ
fault
ね
to begin with.
それは謝
I'm
るけど
sorry, but
でも今回はまだマシ
you
だ
were lucky she didn't get violent. Huh,
で
violent?
副部長
The vice president? Okay, Kurusu was the girl that everyone looked up to, but she was actually very short temper. Short temper ya, bocahnya ya. It will take me more than 5 fingers, but less than 10 to count the number of times she would slap me hard. When I told him that,
マジか
are you serious?
そ
I
んな
mean,
なんていうか
really, are there really
ありなの？
teenager girls
そんな
that
ことする
do
女子
that
高生本当なの
stuff?
か静
That's
か
one
えずっこ
step
手前
short
じゃん
of a his or an asco.
ねえあなた方陰
Has
口
no one
は
ever
聞こえ
told
ない
you
よう
that
に
if
言
you
えっ
want
て
to
言われ
talk
ない
behind
の
someone's back, you should do it where they can't hear ya? You almost sneezed. Didn't even bother looking at us as she spoke.
いや
No,
その
we
セリフを
just
言
said
ったこと
that
はあるんだけどね
some
それもついさっき教室で
someone though in the classroom. Ha ha ha.
そう
I see. And then she fell silent. She was scary as hell. It felt like if I moved, she would kill me.
おごりだ決定だ大盛りにデザートだ異論は認めん
You're buying. It's settled. Supersized with this. No objection, anjir.
高校じゃん
That was 50% your fault. Actually, it was 100% Ito's fault for not keeping his mouth shut.
な
Hey, what?
見たか
Did you see it?
見たよ
You
な
saw it, right?
見てないよ
I didn't. Kenapa tuh? That was a lie. They were white, anjir. I glanced at Kurusu. Still, I will only gotten a glimpse. It was entirely possible. Maybe next time something like this happen, I'll be able to react more quickly. I pray for more good luck, anjir. If it ever did happen again, I swear I will react as the right sider should. It was critical that you stay calm.
Hmm?
When she heard Ito turn in on the ether on the computer, Kazuki trotted over like she usually did. That online game addict had the best computer skill of anyone in the club. Whenever she was around, it was her job to run searches and organize the information on the PC, but
和樹
Kazuki,
手伝わなくていい
we don't need
この件については
I
部
mean
の
not,
活
we
動と
don't
認め
need
て
you
ない
by
から
for this. Okay. Kazuki gave us a question look.
あと
Ato.
うんそうなんだ
Yeah, that's right. Kazuki always said, like she always did, and walk away. Kazuki put her headphone on and went back to the corner of the room. She started slamming keys in. Bentar, toilet bentar lagi deh. Streamnya sepi betul ya bang, kan habis dari toilet kocak. Welcome to the stream ya Supri ya. I never did know how to talk to her. Actually, it felt like it had been forever since I had even spoken to her. If you could call this a conversation, that is. She had been part of the newspaper club for 6 months, and all I knew about her was that she liked talking. In the end, Ito printed out the picture, and I took them and went in front of the bulletin board before Kurusu changed her mind. Mana? Bentar. Lau nggak pergi, Supri. Amat. Nah ini kan lebih enak. Kemana tuh ya? Kemana kek? Gak ada cara gitu. Okay. If Kurusu was going to listen, it was probably better to start at the beginning. Gak tau dari kemarin ngurus deadline. ditinggal sama ini ya, yang libur kemarin kau bilang ya. She didn't seem interested in the cases, but if I ignore her and it made her even madder, even using Ito as a shield wouldn't be enough to save me. There are 2 cases we are looking at right now. The first occurred on the 7th of this month. During a Nikoniya live stream, it was a public suicide called Don't Look at Me case. It happened here in Jinan. It's like you probably guessed, a man killed himself without warning during a Nikoniya live stream. Strictly speaking, we don't know for sure that it's a suicide, but it sure looks like one. The dead man's name is Yuma Otani, age 21. He was a live streamer who got quite a lot of views with some kind of fortune telling program called Still, I Can See the Future. So here is how it went down. First, Otani gave the audience some time to ask questions. He left the camera's field of view. After that, there was the sound of someone knocking at the door. It was faint, but the mic picked it up. There's also some voices, but you can't make them out. When he came back in front of the camera, half of his right hand was missing. It was chopped into tiny bits and sitting on the top of the plate he was carrying. Then he started eating his own finger like he wasn't feeling any pain at all. Kurusu's expression changed a little. He probably hadn't known that. Oh, dia nggak tahu ya. The suicide had been big news even on TV, so he had probably seen it there, but the detail had been so horrific that the news hadn't broadcast them. But those details could be found anywhere on the internet. It was only a matter of time before someone started putting it all together. The video itself had even started to get run. Then after a moment, he started to scream in pain. and then he died.
見ていた人は
Evidently, the
事件
viewer
として発覚する
thought
まで
it was some kind of gag or something at first.
出血性ショック死な
Hypothalamic shock. When the body loses too much blood, the heart stops working properly. That's what it said in the police report. And given the time until he collapsed, it's almost certainly right. Ito added. Ito knew more about this stuff than I did. He's a fan of bizarre murder, and he had read 10 times as many killer diaries and non-fiction crime book as I had. Anjir, 10 times,
何ら
bro.
かの理由で
The
精神
most
が
likely
錯乱
theory
し
is
た
that
上
he
で自殺
experienced some kind of
見解が
mental
濃厚し
disorder before the suicide.
警察は
But the
自殺の
police are
直前に
supposedly
部屋を
looking
訪
for
ねてきた
whoever
誰かを
visited the
探
room
しているんです
first.
もしかしたら
They might be responsible, responsible for aiding or abetting a suicide. In Japan, if you saw someone trying to kill themselves and didn't intervene, it wasn't a crime unless the police could prove you wanted them to die. But aiding in a suicide or encouraging someone to commit suicide was illegal. That meant that the police were probably looking for whoever met Otani just before his death. Kurusu was silent, but she was looking at the board and seemed to be listening. It seemed safe. On to the next case. Oh, wait, a case again.
2つ目は
The second
19
case
日に起きた事件
that occurred in the 19th, it gets its name.
音漏れタンってい
Leaky
う通
noise
称がつ
from
い
the
てる
condition the body was found in.
場所はここ
It happened here in Shinsen.
名前は高柳
The girl's name was Momone Takayanagi.
ニコニアの
he
歌
was
って
a
みたの歌い
sang
手
it
で最
singer
近ネットで有名になって
on
きている
Niconia.
ア
She
ニメ
had
ソングのコピーバンド
been
の
getting really famous online singing anime theme song.
復興祭のステージで歌う
She
こ
was
とも
going to
決
sing
まっ
at the Restoration Festival
てバ
too.
ンドの
O
派
ini
手な
yang
衣装を
tadi
着た
ya.
まま
Every sunny day, she had always go to the same place at the same
毎
time.
日決まった場所
Oh, berarti yang tadi
Kimata
rambut
Shikan
putih
Denso
itu
State Rashi.
bukan si yang singernya, yang ngetok berarti ya. And put on a performance in her fancy band costume.
その日はいつもの場所にかなり遅刻して現れ
That
て
day, she started her
ライブを始め
concert
た
pretty late,
だけど何か様子が
but
おかしかっ
something
た
was wrong.
声が小
Her
さく
voice
て
was small.
いつもの感
It
じじゃな
didn't
かったら
sound
しい
like she usually did. And then in the
そして
middle of the
結局
concert,
死亡した
she died. Blood
こ
loss
っち
here
も失血死
too. He had been stabbed in the
ライブを始め
stomach
る前
before
に
she had
お腹を
started
刺傷
the
した
concert. Hmm.
妙なのがや
What
っぱり遺
strange
体の
was the
状況で
condition the body was found in. Ito played the
再生
video.
してくれ
Sure things. Ito taped a few keys on the computer keyboard, and a moment later, is this really happening? She's dead. She's really dead. Call an ambulance. Hmm? Kurusu looks confused when she heard the sound. Afterwards, she was unable to make it out.
ああそっちじゃなくて渋谷ニュースが音声いじってアッ
Not
プし
that
てくれた
one.
方
The one Shibuya News up with the enhanced audio.
ああそっちだよな
yeah, yeah.
と
Uh-uh. Is this really happening? She's really dead. Call ambulance. Thanks, take it easy. Thanks, take it easy. Thanks, take it... Hah? Maksudnya? Pian kematian iya bubub. Her expression changed. You must have been able to hear it this time.
ありがとうゆっ
Thanks.
くりしていって
Take
ね
it easy. According to the regular, that's how she would begin every performance.
ニアドユーザーだからな
She's an Ikonia
なんで
user.
も歌って
After
みた
all,
の歌い手
lately
の
people
中で
have
は
been saying
彼
she's
女
the
のライブが
best
一番だ
sang
って最近
it
評判だった
singer
らしい
around. Kurusu seemed to be ignoring me and Ito. She was staring at the computer screen that was the source of the sound.
今のは
What was that?
悲鳴は死体を発
The
見した
scream
お
are
客さん
from
たち
the audience member
動
who
画で撮ってい
discovered
た
the
人がいたん
bodies.
だ
One of them was recording a video, and that last part was in Takayanagi's voice.
お腹に埋め込
It
まれ
was
ていた小
from a
型の
mini
スピー
other
カーから
speaker
聞こえてきた
embedded in her stomach. Anjir, di perutnya. Speaker. Kurusu seemed confused, so Ito interject. Anjir,
つ
ditaruh
まり
speaker di dalam perut ya.
最初から録音され
Diinjek
た
ke
ものだっ
perut
たんだ
ya. Anjir. In other words, the whole concert that they had been pre-recorded. Oh, berarti emang udah modar ya? The evidence found later indicated that she had slit open her own stomach with utility knife she got at a convenience store, then stuck a Bluetooth speaker inside. Damn, bro. She closed up the wound with duct tape. Not that it actually did much good. Then she used her clothes and the outfit to hide the wound and started her performance. Damn, what the fuck? Damn, bro. At first, she played the guitar along with the sound of her recorded voice, but after a while, she stopped playing. That's when she leaned forward and didn't get back up. So she was probably already dead then. But while the audience thought it was strange, they kept listening. Either the blood from her wound broke the portable music player in her pocket, or maybe it was supposed to be this way from the start. But until that same line you just heard played over and over, no one realized she was dead. Anjir, ada blood kayak gitu orang gak realize tetap. That's how ignorant human could be. Kurusu's face was a mixture of confusion and discomfort. Of course it was. She had never heard of something like this. I couldn't hold back my excitement. Huh. Amazing, right? Kenapa tuh bubuk? Instead of agreeing, Kurusu's brow furrowed. She probably didn't realize, but she had wrapped her arms around herself. What was wrong? Was that a little too creepy? And all we've done so far is go over that what we know. What is your discovery? Oh yeah, he was right. I used the computer to print out a series of a picture. Obviously, we don't know what the motive behind these two killings are. The one suspect we've got is whoever visited Otani's room, and we don't know who they are, what they wanted, what they were talking about. But I think there is more of this to come. It's only a guess though, based off something the victims have in common. Oh, seriously? Ito leapt out of his chair in shock. Well, I couldn't blame him. We spent forever going over things they could have had in common. All we came up with was that they both live in Shibuya and that they both use Nikonia. The only other things are that they were both semi-famous and they both died in a bizarre way. But that didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, did it? So you didn't see the other things they had in common. They pointed towards the bulletin board as I spoke. Ito looked really annoyed. Damn it, you arrogant asshole. What's up with that thing you are printing out anyway? One of the best part of finding something like this was seeing the angry look on his face. While it was only yesterday that I had found it myself though. Relax. What did you find? Kurusu beckoned for me to go on. No matter what she said, after hearing all this, she probably wanted to know what came next. Oh, it was done printing. Lo. Kazuki suddenly stood in front of me. Waduh, kenapa nih? He offered me the printed image without a word. That thanks. Then she offered me something else. A lollipop. Are you giving me this? Thanks. Kazuki seemed to be communicating in her own unique way. She walked over to the bulletin board and tapped the data printouts on the two cases with her finger.
和樹どうした
Kazuki, what's wrong? She did it again. I saw the part she was pointing.
そう
That's right, the date.
日付だよ。
7. 19.
共通点。
That's when they have in common.
9月7
Strange stuff on
9月
September. Ring a
19
bell? I kept looking at
渋谷で
people.
発生した異常な事件。
He will be the one to
わかるだ
pick
ろ。
up on this. A second later.
Oh.
Oh. He froze. He must have figured it out.
猟
With
奇
your
マ
love
ニア
of
のお
weird
前なら
murders, you know what I'm
わかるだろ。
talking about. I pinned the image, just printed out onto the bulletin board's map.
9月7日集団ダイブ。
September 7, the group dive.
9月19日妊娠男。
September 19, the pregnant man.
9月29日貼り付け。
September 20, crucified.
10月10日ヴァンパイア。
October 10, the vampire.
10月23日ノータリン。
October 23rd, brain dead.
10月28日うまい手。
October 28, yummy hand.
11月4日ドキュンパズル。
Ducking puzzle.
ニュージェネレーションの
New generation madness. Yep, 6 years ago in 2009, a series of strange stuff had occurred just before the earthquake that struck Shibuya on November 6. They became famous for the word left at the scene of every crime. Those eyes. Whose eyes? They called the killing the new generation madness. The murder took place in Shibuya, but the whole country took an interest in them. At the time, I was in 6th grade, and just like a lot of people, I followed every new development on the internet.
日付が6年前の事件とぴった
The
り
dates
一致して
match
るん
up
だ。
exactly when the
事件も
dates
自殺っぽいっていう内容
of
は
the
ともかく
murder 6
猟
years
奇的だとい
ago.
う点で同じ。
They may be set up to look like suicide, but they are every bit as weird as the old killings.
偶然でしょ。
It's a coincidence. She seemed to be trying to force the words out of her throat. Kurusu was acting a little strange. Her arms clutched her torso even tighter.
副部長
Vice President? Maybe it was because all of the creepy pictures she had seen. Kurusu was clearly shaking. She tried her best to stop it as she spoke.
何でも
Stop
関連
trying to
付け
connect
て大きく
every
した
live
がるのは
event.
やめなさい。二
It's
つ
a coincidence
たまたま
that
一
they
致しただ
lined
け
up.
です。
偶然かそうではないかはすぐにわかるよ。
Well, we'll
New
know
Gen
for
第三の
sure
事件が
now,
起こったのは
as soon. The
9
third
月
new
29
generation
日
madness took place on September 29. In other words,
今日だ。
today.
もし今日
Something
渋谷
will
でまた
happen
妙
in
な事件が
Shibuya
起こったら
again. We'll
そ
know
の時
for
は
sure.
間違い
If
な
a
い。
coincidence
偶
happened
然が
3
3
times,
つ続く
it's
な
not
ん
a
て放って
coincidence
おける要素じゃない
anymore.
だろ。
Yes, sih. Kok sampai 3 kali ya? A phone rang. It was mine.
はい。もしもし。
Yes, how? There's been a murder or maybe an accident. Anyway, I think what you said might have happened. I could feel my heart starting to race as she spoke. It was a Love Hotel area in Dogenzaka, 5 minutes from Shibuya Station. A few days ago, there had been some kind of suspicious fire here. And I would come to do some reporting. The place was supposedly a love hotel spot, but even at night, when business should have been booming, it wasn't particularly exciting. During the day, when all the lights were turned off, if you didn't look at the sign, it would then look very different from your average neighborhood. One of the buildings was a 4-story love hotel with the terrible name Fairy's Dance. It faced a narrow street that there was no parking lot, so the police car was parked at a meter nearby.
こっち
Kochi. Erika was standing in front of a general store some distance away. Supposed to be spending the deep talking. One of the photo of the area around the last two crime scene.
何があった？
What happened?
わかんない。さっきゲンさ
I
ん
don't
と
know. I passed
107の
by
近くですれ違
Jen
った時に
near the
ここで何かが起きたって教
107
えてくれた
and
の。
he told me something was up here.
相変わらずあの人はよくわかんないな。
I just don't get that guy.
どこから
Where
仕入
does
れて
he
るんだ
find out
そんな
about the
情報は。
stuff? It's helpful.
便利だからいい
So I
け
guess
ど
it doesn't matter too much. Ken was a homeless man. I knew he had sold me all the books I was in. I had secret stash. He was a drunk who claimed to be a noble blood. The stories he told me, his past didn't sound very noble at all. Okay. The guy was a weirdo, but since he spent all his time wandering around Shibuya, he knew a surprising amount of info about it.
でも大事なのは間違いないっぽいよ。
But it seems like
さっき
something really
中に入
happening
って
though. The
た
policeman who
警察の
just
人が
went and looked.
応援呼んでた
Okay.
みたいだし。
Minta backup polisnya. I see. I decided to start by taking a video of the outside of the hotel with my smartphone.
Oh my.
You really run
こういう時
fast
だけ
at the
足速い
times
な。
like this. I would laugh the two of them in the club room, and they will only just now caught up with me. They must have run here. Ito especially was breathing very heavily.
なんだ
What Kurusu came to.
留守も来たのか
Kazuki had decided not to come evidently. Of course not. I've never seen her outside except when we were going to and from school. So
で、
did
事件か？
something happen? I told Ito what I had heard from Serika. He seemed really disappointed.
なんだそりゃ。
What? You sure? It's
単
not
に
just
血は
some
喧嘩か
couple
なんか
that
で
had a
騒ぎになっ
fight.
た。
それだけでわざわざ応援なんて呼ぶか
Would you call reinforcement just for
今日
that?
は
And
29
today's
日
the
なんだぞ
29, you know? I
だから
told you you're overthinking
気にし
about
すぎだっ
this.
て言ってる
Kurosa
でし
seemed
ょ。
upset. She glanced at the loft hotel around her in disgust.
早く学校に戻り
Let's
まし
get
ょう。
back to school. This isn't a
学生
place
がい
where
ていい
students
場
are
所じゃない。
supposed to be. What if
監視
one
カ
of
メラに映ってい
security
るのが問
cameras
題に
spot
なったら
us?
どうする
We
の？
probably didn't want to get involved. Ever since the rebuilding, there have been more cameras around Shibuya than ever before, even around the Loft Hotel. Our school uniform, we probably stood out. Kurusu motioned for us to go home. And then... I saw something in the viewfinder. On the third floor of the Love Hotel room. The window. Iya, kebuka bener. The window must have been all the way open because the curtain were fluttering out. Aww.
なあ
Oi,
普通こういうとこって窓開いてないもんだよな
you normally don't open the window in a place like this, don't you? I asked Ito as I look up at them.
まあそうなん
Yeah,
じゃねえの？
probably.
使ったことなんかねえからわかんねえけ
I've
ど。
never been to
Oh.
one. Oh. Ya, barusan langsung nengok. Ito followed my gaze and saw it for himself. It felt suspicious. I had never been to a Love Hotel either, so I didn't know. But normally you will keep the window shut, right? Iya sih. You wouldn't want people. Iyalah. Nggak mau lihat dan dengar apa yang dilakuin. And then suddenly I heard the sound from somewhere. It was a calming song with a simple melody. I took a closer listen. Was it a music box? It definitely was. It was coming from the room with the open window. It sounded like it was inviting us. What's going on? Hmm. I couldn't look into the building like I had done with the karaoke box last week. And I certainly couldn't climb my way up.
ちょっと
Wait, what are you
何考え
thinking?
てるの？
I must have had a pensive look on my face because Kurusu turned to me and asked,
バレないように
if we
中に
can
入れ
get
れば
inside without them finding us. I looked over at the parking meters. There was still only one car. Okay,
裏口ぐらいどっかにある
there
だろう
should
か
be a rear
俺の
entrance
警察が来る
somewhere.
前に済まそう糸そっち側から回ってくれ
Okay, Ito, go around.
おお
Oh,
僕はこっち側から
I'll take this side.
ちょっとタクル、
Takuru,
こっち見なさい。
look at me. I began to run the building, not waiting to Ito's answer, but Kusuru grabbed my arm.
ダメ。こんなの部活の範疇じゃないでしょ。
You can't do
私の
this.
言うこと
This
は
is
聞
way
けないよ。
beyond what a high school club should be involved in. Crap, she was just a millimeter short of making that face again.
しかもここ、
And this is one of those dirty huddles too, isn't it?
それに、もし
Also,
妙
what
な
if you
こと
get
に
caught
巻き
up
込ま
in something weird? I knew all that, but I didn't want to give up. This might be my chance. Get real school.
低学にでもなったらど
But
う
if
す
you
る
get
つもり？
expelled as your big sister,
姉として、
I can't let you
弟
put
を危
yourself
険
in
な目に
danger.
合わせるわけにはいかないの。
Ini big sis nya. Sister, we are not actually family, are we?
弟
How dare you? Instantly, Kurosu grabbed me by the collar with incredible force and brought her face so close to me and forehead. I could tell her cheeks were flushed. There was a small, wordless growl from deep within her throat, and her arm was shaking a little as she held me. What was she trying to say? No, I knew what she was trying to say, but Kurusu didn't say it. Kurusu was sort of an awful person who would bring up the distant past to try and win an argument. And anyway, it was all over now. It wasn't either of our fault. Stop it! Good. Suddenly, Sarika ran over and tackled Kurusu. The momentum slammed both of them into the ground.
ちょっとセリ
Oh,
カ。
Sarika, what was that
喧
for?
嘩はダメだ
The
よ。
fighting
じゃん
non-taku?
タク、
The motto of the
5人で
newspaper
みんな
club
仲良
is
くが
all
新
five
聞
of
部の
us
モッ
are
トーでしょ？
friends, right? No, that was never our motto.
しんちゃんも止めなきゃダメじゃん。
Shin, you need to stop them too.
いや Tsuka,
Wait,
どこ行ってたんだ？
where were you?
あ
Oh, that's right.
喧嘩してる場合じゃないん
This
だよ。
is no time for fighting, Taku. She suddenly hopped up like a cheap toy.
裏のドア開いてる。
The back door is open. What?
喉乾いて自販機なくて。
I was thirsty, but I
ホテルの
couldn't
中な
find
ら
a
あるだろう
vending machine, so
裏
I
のドア
decided
見
to
つけて開けて。
I found. Oh.
中入って自販機やってさすが妖精のダンスじゃんやるじゃんって思って勝手
Then
に
I
気
went
にしてた
inside.
ら
There was a
あれっ
funny.
て
Well, I said to myself, "Where to go? Ferris dance." Then I saw the. And then I bought a drink. I gulped it down, and then said, "Wait a second.
んだよそれ
What?
お前
You
い
always
つも
get
後先
ahead
考
of
えずに
yourself."
突き進むよな
タクどう
So
するの？
Taku, what's the plan? I could tell that Kurusu was glaring at me, but she didn't say anything. She couldn't
二人
say
で行こ
anything.
カップルの方が
Let's go together.
い
If
ざ
we
という時
pretend to
に
be a
ごまかし
couple,
が
we
効くかも
might
し
be
れない
able to fool them if it comes to that. Okay. As soon as the word came out of my mouth, Sarika beckoned me to follow her. I did. Aduh. Minimal minta maaf lah bro. I didn't say it, but in my heart I apologized to Kurusu as I went. Of course, she couldn't hear me, so she didn't say anything.
階段向こうなんだけどな。
That stairs are over there though. We went inside the hotel for the rear entrance and hid behind the corner that lead to the lobby. This was my first time inside a loft hotel. It was a lot of less gaudy than I had expected. Yeah, boop boop, welcome to the stream. There were no favorites, no one was dancing. Maybe the quiet atmosphere was a selling point. But
ですから人を早くよこしてください。
I just sent someone back here. What? No, Shinjo. The quiet was ruined by the sound of a police. Something had happened after all. Something bad enough that he needed backup. If we could get to the scene before the place was overflowing with cops, we might be able to find an unexpected scoop.
はい、それは間違いありません。
Yes,
確認
there's
しまし
no
た。
doubt about it. I
ですが、
checked,
こちらでは
but I
判断
can't
が。
decide that on my own.
ですからそういう状
No,
態じゃな
I
いんです。
told you that's not what's going on. Damn it. That cop was in the way. Whether we took the stair or the elevator, we needed to go through the lobby to get them.
タク、行くよ。
Taku, let's go.
え？
Hmm?
早く。
Hurry. Wait. Serika took me by the arm as we were a couple and entered the lobby without trying to hide it.
おいおい
Hey, come on. She ignored me and walked straight for the stairs.
おい、
Hey. The cop must have seen us because he yelled at us from behind. Shit. He probably hadn't seen our faces. Should we run? No, that would just make us look
部
suspicious.
屋から出るなと言っている
I
だろ。
thought it's not okay to leave your room. No.
いえ、すいません、大丈夫です。それより早く応援を。
He started to mumble into the plane. Okay.
無茶する
Don't
な
do
よ
anything too crazy. Yeah, boop boop.
で
But
も
you were right. We were okay. Yeah, scared me. No, even if he only saw us from behind, he would be able to tell by our uniform. Why didn't he arrest us? No. Maybe he was panicking so much the thought never occurred to him.
テトは
Okay,
どう
what's
しよう
next
か
step? Sarika let go of my arm and turned toward him. Right. That wasn't the time for thinking about the other things.
外から見たあの場所
We
が
don't know
現場かどうかは
whether or
わからないけ
not
ど
the room on the
とりあえず
third
3階から
floor is
だろ
what we are after.
そこが外れだったら他の場所を見ていく警察の応援が来たらそこで切り上げでも警察の様子から見て、やっぱり
オッケー。
Okay. It was quiet. The policeman's voice was still drifting up the stair, but it only made the quiet seem more oppressive. Just like he said, the customer had probably been 35k. It was too late for a little one.
そういえばタク、まだ
Oh,
のん
hey,
ちゃんと
Taku,
喧
you're
嘩しちゃって
fighting
る
with
んだ
Non
ね。
again, aren't you? Serikawa's voice was relaxed. I was grateful. I'll take an opportunity to relieve this tension.
喧嘩ってわけじゃない
It
よ。
wasn't really a fight,
でもまだクルスっ
but
て
you're
呼
still
んでるんでし
calling
ょ
her Kurusu,
気
right?
持ちは
I
わ
know
かるけ
how
ど、
do you feel, but it
なんとか
wasn't.
ならないかな。
But isn't there something you can do? Until half years ago, I called her Nono, her first name. After the incident that had caused me to leave the dorm, I had never called her that again. As long as I kept calling her Kurusu, she would keep being mad at me. It must have been hurting some important part of her.
タク、
あ、
We were on the third floor. Serika had gotten ahead of me at some point and was poking her head around the corner into the hallway.
誰もいないみたい。
Nobody's here, I think.
よし。
Yosh. Oke, siap-siap record ya. As soon as I went into the third floor hallway, I found myself holding breath. My heart was pounding even louder than when the cop had yelled us. I tried to control myself and looked down the corridor. The rooms must have been very big because the gap between the door was large. The floor was red, sinking into black as the hallway stretched away. I could hear the unpleasant sound of blowing air. They must have had the air conditioning. There were no window and there wasn't a lot of light, so the hallway looked pretty creepy, but there was nothing out of the ordinary about it otherwise. But still, it was strange. The air felt solid. It felt like someone who would jump out from the shadow the second you lay your guard down, or perhaps there were traps scattered everywhere along the floor. For a second, the floor seemed to be stained with blood, but I shook that image of my mind. What was this? It was like the fear you feel in the darkness at night. What is it? What it just because there was so little light? No, it was worse than that. It felt like someone was watching me, enjoying me unease. It was like they were peering deep into my
タ
heart.
ク、
Taku. I almost jumped off the ground with a start.
どうした
Huh?
の？
What's wrong? Don't just talk to me like that. You scared the hell out of me.
なんでもない。
It's nothing. Hey, isn't this kind of weird?
なんか
I gestured my head down the hallway. Sterika looked past me into the darkness.
そりゃ、
Well, it's creepy because it's so dim. But isn't that just to set the mood? Huh? Was that all? Was I being too sensitive? I tried flipping the light switch on the wall next to me, but nothing happened. Maybe when the bulbs were burned out, or maybe it wasn't a switch with... Damn, this was an 1807. I turned around. The only person the only person there was no one else was looking at me. I took some time to make sure of it before blah 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 tadi.
行くぞ。
Ikuso. Serika nodded cheerfully. and stayed behind me as we walked deeper into the hallway. I remember the location of the window I had seen outside. It was probably deeper in the hall.
あの二つの
It's probably one
ど
of
ちら
those
かか
two.
な。
I walked as silently as I could down the long hallway toward the last room on the left. With every step I took, I could feel the sensation of the hallway floor through the bottom of my heels. It was like I was being forced to think about nerve. Usually they will at least one person here at the scene. Was this the wrong floor? We reached the second to the last door. 306, 307. Wait. Nih, pian kita save sampai sini deh. Apaan ya? Ini siapa aja nih di live? Wih, si Lord lagi live ya?
Terus saya terus.
Winda mainan level 7.
Ini pasti habis ini ya, habis apa? Habis mendongeng ya.
Ini masih live.
Siang-siang malah mendongeng kocak. Masih live kocak, masih live.
Kena kita.
Jadi kapan Om kamu main game ini?
Kapan?
Ini mumpung lagi generasi ya apa ya? Apa namanya? Gue lupa lagi. Cirwame kocak. Kapan ya? Kapannya berarti besok ya?
Nih. Bukan ini ya yang bisa aku tonton. Aku kira-kira ini jadi kadang mampir ke channel ini nih. Lumayan enak sih buat didengar. Nyantai.
Ku terus.
Nggak juga.
Hi guys, I got blackout. Mati lampu tadi. Welcome back, thank you.
Kapan ke playnya? Oh, atas.
Ya masih di Sogo dulu ya.
Iya kan, jadi itu tuh burung yang sering kesini.
Like dulu. Iya ya, ada yang melengkung, ada yang lurus ya. Ghibli Mill. Nah, ini termasuk Ghibli yang baru nih, Arieti. Bukan buatan si bokapnya. Wait, bentar. Ah, itu problemnya. Banyak yang live ya. Legend Soul, Pepe Miru, Greta. 10k di 2023 emang boleh AV. Pada nyobain ini ya stream vertikal ya. Kayaknya channelku kurang masuk stream vertikal. Secara gaming kan, lebih ke gaming. Cobain lah, nggak masuk sih. Vertical gaming kayak gimana gak sih, kayak kurang gak sih vertical gaming? Ini actually bagus ya guys. Aku udah tamat ini 3 kali. Ini udah chapter berapa dia? Di tengah-tengah deh kayaknya. Siapa yang buat gaming kalau vertikal? Ya makanya nggak ada kan. Free talk lah. Mauan banget free talk sama Fedelish. Mauan banget kamu free talk sama Fedelish. Mana cocok sih channel Fedelish buat free talk? Hahaha, ketawa dia. Ini udah graduate sih, sangat disayangkan bro. No. Gak apa, untung playlistnya masih nggak hilang ya. Masih bisa menemani saya tidur ya dia. Iya, ditemani Amici ya. Alamat template kali bang, belum coba udah dibilang nggak cocok loh. Iya nggak cocok lah. Ntar stream free talk sih. Coba dulu baru kasih review. Nggak cocok. Oh ini. Kalian suka ini gak? Grisini Project. Mantep bro. Mereka tuh. Pasti kalian dengar sih. Aku tuh suka denger Vogelim Kavik. Vogelim Kavik bagus. Skyrim bagus. Lilium lumayan. Nah itu pengen nonton Elven Light tuh gara-gara ini tau. The Witcher. Pasagio enggak sih. Vogelim Kavik bagus. Nih Nier bagus. Ini harus kamu denger sih. Gila, kurang enak apa? Sudah bosan ternyata. Enggak juga sih. Bagus sih storynya. Cuman di awalnya bagus banget. Tapi pas yang udah nyampe di sekolahnya kayak biasa aja. Pas yang nyampe di sekolahnya. Dota aja sono. Apa itu Dota? Game apa itu? Berhenti dari VN. Lo. Enggak, cok. VN masih seru. Betah gue main VN. Berapa VN ya yang udah gue main ya? Dengan Ronpa udah. Saturn ini termasuk VN. Core Factory sih. Pencet lah bang videonya. Udah kan tadi. VN seru cuma Persona. Persona pun nggak begitu termasuk yang full VN gitu. Masih ada gameplaynya. Tapi masuk VN sih kategorinya. Karena dia banyak cerita ngomong-ngomongnya ya. Tapi nggak yang totally VN secara itunya dialog doang gitu. Kalau kemarin gue sempet main yang tetap totally dialog, cok. Corpse Factory itu totally dialog Corpse Factory. Yang udah lama lah. Dan itu bagus Corpse Factory. Cuman dia singkat. Bagus banget, iya, iya. Iya, iya, Bubub, iya. Benar, benar, benar. Cuman nih pundak nggak tahu kenapa pegal banget ya hari ini. Apa gara-gara kemarin nih kayaknya efek kemarin, bro. Kemarin aku mulai workout lagi. Setelah sekian abad ya, sudah tidak pernah workout gym. Workout lagi anjir. Pegel banget. Chris ini project sih. Mantep. Pomo New Year Me kali bang. New Year New Me kali bang. Nggak ada. Nggak ada. Kalau New Year New Me itu di tanggal 1 ya, Supri ya. Kalau New Year New Me itu tanggal 1 ya, Supri ya. Itu FOMO New Year New Me itu. Kalau ini memang pengen ini. Kan mau head start. Nggak ada. Nggak ada. Nggak usah dimasuk-masukin alasannya. Nggak usah dimasuk-masukin alasannya. Nggak usah dimasuk-masukin. Easy Philippines, what the fuck. Ruspiano. Ruspiano saingannya Pen Piano ya. Lagian juga ente bilang mau workout udah dari tahun lalu, emang iya? Kalau itu gua nggak inget. 1 bulan juga stop lah, kata siapa ngap. Suzume nggak inget loh ada lagu yang mengenangnya. Oke, Lim Kafik. Suzume bagus bang semua lagunya. Oh iya iya Bubu bagus banget. Apalagi yang itu. Iya iya yang itu. Surprise. I'm back. Morning person. Oh ini dari pagi ya? Oh enggak juga. 3 jam yang lalu. 3 jam yang lalu. Nih Bubub. Kesukaanmu Bubub.
Felix. Okay, wait.
Kesukaanmu nih Bubub.
Drop this. Felix, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you, thank you. Tier 3 count as 6 on the counter here below. It is
Oh ini
6
timernya
points.
anjir
So now
warnanya
we are
mirip
at
banget nggak kelihatan anjir.
399. Tier 1 sub is 1 point.
Frank Sinatra Cruz, what the fuck? Is this really Counter Strike? What the hell? Hmm. Ntar malam kita mending ngapain guys? Enak bang ngobrolnya, ngobrol apaan? Ngobrol apaan? Ini bukan ngobrol bang, bukan. Ini kan free talk enggak? Kata siapa? Kata siapa ini free talk? Kata siapa? Walah bukan free talk guys. Iya bukan free talk. Kata siapa free talk? Kata siapa free talk? Kata siapa free talk? Ternyata quick load. Quick loadnya kok nggak ada? Bang. Quick load tadi kok hilang? Hah? Game pan. Coba tadi Cok. Enggak, tadi tulisan quick load tuh. Terus buat apa anjing? Itu bukan artinya di loadin nama dia, Bang. Tuh, quick save loh. Dia udah tulis quick save anjing. Bro. Oh, nggak masuk otak anjir. Kita kejar dulu deh sampai story tadi. Nggak masuk akal anjir. Oh, itu quick load tadi, quick save tadi buat apa anjir, anjir. Mohon lah. Benar-benar aja ngap. Untung ada tombol control ya buat mempercepat ya.
要はヘタレなんだろうな。
Tawa kamu ya. Udah lewat, udah lewat. Oh iya. Bisa-bisanya lo nggak ke save lo. Tuh, itu jelas-jelas ada tulisan quick save loh.
Miyashiro, またお前か。今度は何したんだ。いや、いい。
Oh iya. Seneng itu ya kamu ya bubub ya. Oh iya. Oke, udah mulai ngejar sih. Itu nggak sejauh itu ya. Sampai di dalam sini. Sampai yang 2 warna. Sampai sini tadi anjir. Pantai kalau aku save dulu. I listened carefully, but didn't hear anything revealing. Just the quiet rumble of the air conditioner.
覗き穴と
Is
か
there a
ないの？
peephole? Nggak ada sih. Come on.
ここはラブホ
This is
テ
a
ルだぞ。
love hotel. Iya sih, masa ada
ああ、そっ
peephole?
か。
Alright.
おい、何を。
Hey, what are you?
ノック。
Knocking?
お前な。
You can't. Or if someone really answer the door?
ちょ。
Wait. Dibuka beneran dong. There was a loud sound. I quickly glanced around to see if anyone heard what Serika did.
開かないね。
It's not opening.
鍵を
Maybe I
こっそ
should
り
have
借り
borrowed
て
the
くれば
key.
よ。
There was no answer from inside. No one was there, probably.
ノック？
Taku,
したの？
what's wrong?
いや、いい。
No, never mind. Damn it. I felt kind of ridiculous for me to be so serious.
警察もいない
The
し。
police aren't here
この
either.
階じゃないの
Maybe
か。
it's not this floor. Okay. I flinched back at the sudden noise. What? Was that the sound of breaking glass?
隣から。
It was from the next room over, right? Oh, dari kamar sebelah. She was clinging to my back in surprise with her hand on my shoulder.
多分
I think so.
奥で
It
しょ？
came from further down, right? Serika pointed to the next room. We stood there for a moment. The violent sound must have scared her, because Serika's easygoing mood had totally vanished. We waited a while, and nothing more happened. There was no voices or sound of struggle. The hallway was the same as ever. But was I imagining it, or was the hall a little darker than before?
戻った方が
Should
い
we
い
go
か。
back? Terikawa didn't answer my question. She didn't seem afraid, but she had a serious look on her face as she stared down the hallway. Maybe something had happened. The killer was still there? No. Wait. I needed to think about this rationally. There was an officer on the first floor who had called for backup. Usually, when a call came in, the police never came there alone. There was always more than one. I had found that out for myself during my reporting, so I was sure of it. So there had to be another officer at the scene. The killer couldn't just be hiding there. If there was any chance of that, the cop wouldn't have just told us to go back to our rooms. Did the killer break the glass during a struggle? No, that didn't make sense either. If there was any chance of them being able to do that, would that officer have gone downstairs? He would probably gone down there to tell the front desk not to let anyone else in. Yes, see. Damn it. I had no proof. But it should be okay. More than anything, I hadn't taken any photos yet. Ada bunyi tuh. Whoa, I jumped, literally, when I heard the sudden sound. It was a very strange sound, one that didn't belong here at all. I looked and saw that Serika had gotten so nervous, she had taken out her Gero Froggy Geroro strap and started to play with it. She probably didn't even know she was doing it. I softly poked her with my elbow. I motioned for her to keep quiet, and she seemed confused. But then she realized that she was doing and quickly put the strap back in her pocket. As soon as she was done, I looked down the hall once more, all the way to the front of the room. We should head there. I tried to steel myself, then checked over my shoulder once more to make sure no one was there. I started to walk forward very carefully. I was afraid of making even the slightest sound. Srika followed me wordlessly with her hand on my shoulder. I grabbed her hand with my free hand. The other was holding my smartphone. Oh, dia mau nangkap fotonya, lupa. She squeezed it tight. The feeling of her finger kept me strong as I walked forward. The next room. Room 305. The room at the far end of the hallway. Just like room 306, it had a plain old door, but it felt like it was exuding an intense pressure. Ada pressure-nya.
ここからだ
This
よね
is where it came from, right? He was asking about the sound.
多分
I think so. I answered despite not having any proof at all. I waited, but still heard nothing. I looked around once more to make sure no one was there, then put my ear up against the door, and then I heard a small sound. It was the sound that I had heard outside. The sound from the window, like a music box playing. It was relaxed and peaceful, even if we weren't and played the same tune over and over.
この部屋だ
This is the room,
窓が
the
開
one
いて
with
いた
the
部屋
open windows. Tarika was looking at me.
開く
Will it open? No, that's... I hesitate, but she put her hand on the doorknob.
ダメ
She seemed relieved, but a little upset. I knew exactly how she felt. I felt the same way. I moved away from the door. I would have liked to take some photos before I left, but... Anjir. Huh?
今
Did you just hear the
鍵
sound
の
of a
音
lock?
しなかった
That was what it sounded like. We were too confused to move. There was no sign of anyone coming out. I slowly touched the doorknob. It turned. The door was unlocked. Oh. Oke, telan dulu tadi. As if guided by the by all the strange things that were happening. I pushed the record button on my smartphone. I gripped the doorknob tighter. A voice in my mind told me to stop, to go back, but it was wiped out by the sound of the smartphone recording starting and the door slowly opening. The more it opened, the less I was able to ignore my curiosity. Apa? Pasti buka. It felt like something beside SeChaos was pushing me forward as I opened the door. That song was playing in the dimly lit room. All the lights were off, but the sun outside was streaming through the open window. Its light was very weak. The curtain in front of me, which partition of a part of the room, was blocking the light. I gulped, realized my lips were dry. I ran my tongue over them to wet them a little, and then I realized my heart was pounding. The sound was so loud, I thought my heart might have somehow moved up into my ears. It seemed to be beating out some bizarre rhythm, and it was making me sick. I forced myself to swallow my saliva and hope it would keep me from throwing up. Then I took a slow step forward. I held up my phone to record what I was seeing, and then I realized something. That curtain wasn't partitioning the room. It was bad. There was a raised spot off the floor with a circular bat surrounded by a curtain. The light was streaming out from behind it. The windows we had seen were on the other side of it. The song seemed to be coming from there as well. Crap, it was too dark. I went to flip the nearby light switch, then forced myself to stop. No, I couldn't touch anything in the room. Some kind of crime must have taken place here. But I was scared to go any deeper into the darkness. My shoes made my steps loud against the floor. There was no response, only the relaxed melody. I gave a signal to Serika, who was still behind me, and went deeper into the room. What? For a moment, I thought I heard the sound of creaking metal. It felt like I was hearing it between the gaps in the music box melody. But there was no change that I could see. There was just the sound of the music box. I looked from one part of the room to another to make sure nothing was amiss. And then I slowly moved forward. Ini yang di cover yang di store page Someone was lying on the floor. Huh? When my eyes adjusted to the gloom, I saw a police officer and a woman. The officer was lying up against the bathroom with his leg splayed and his head drooping. The girl was lying on the floor face down. They showed no sign of noticing us. No, that wasn't right. The glass behind them was shattered into 1,000 pieces. Crap. The second I understood what was going on, the hand holding the smartphone started to shake. Crap, crap, crap. I could see a little blood dripping off the police officer's hat. I spun around as I heard the sound. Okay. The warmth drained from my face in an instant and my whole body shivered. Someone was sitting on the bed. I staggered back and slammed into Sarika.
逃げよ
Let's get out of here now. But I couldn't move. My hand was frozen as it pointed the smartphone to whoever was behind the curtain, and it wasn't doing what I told it. Damn it. I took a step back, tripped, and then fell to the floor. My lungs weren't working right. The silhouette moved a little and I flinched. And it didn't move. The bed was rotating. Whoever was behind the curtain showed no sign of noticing us. They didn't budge an inch. What the hell is going on here? Taku, the door won't open. Sarika's voice sounded like it was far away. Absent Min, hello dongo, welcome to the stream. I ran back to the entrance and slammed myself into the door. It was an opening. It was an opening. Okay.
なんで開かないんだよ。
Why won't it open? I don't know. Sarika yelled back at me. Why? Sarika screamed as she slammed against the door. I helped her try to batter it down. But it didn't work. It was like trying to batter down a wall. Waduh, ketukan yang itu ya. Suddenly, I heard a knock at the door. I reflexively jumped away without thinking. Ketukan kematian ya. It was coming from this door. The knocking was rhythmic and constant. What? It was just a knock at the door, but my whole body started to shake. Someone was on the other side of the door. Someone was knocking. It definitely wasn't the police. I felt as if my sanity was boiling away, melting out from the soles of my feet on upward.
ダメだ。ダメだ。
No, don't open that door. Right, go out the back.
窓から。
Let's use the
なんとかして逃げ
window.
よ
I grabbed Sarikawa's hand and ran to the back of the room. And fell silent at what I saw. Huh? No. What was that? The curtain was open. There was a man there sitting. No, he was moving slowly. The bed was moving in time to the sound of the music box. An eerie sound came from the wire wrap around his neck. The wire was hanging down from the ceiling, choking him. His face was all puffed up and a color I had never seen before. His pants were wet and the stain extended to the bed itself. The smell of piss, shit, and shit hung in my nose. He wasn't alive, he was dead. What the hell is this? Why was he dead? Did he suffocate? Why was the curtain open? And what the hell was he doing? Why was he dead? Bener sih, kenapa ya? My right hand moved without me realizing it. Huh? I needed to use the window to escape, but I pointed my phone cameras at the body instead. Taku, we need to get out of here. The body spun slowly. Each time it went around, the wire made an awful sound and dug deeper into his neck. It had dug so deep by now that the man's neck was the size of my wrist. The skin must have been broken because it was bleeding a little. Taku. What am I doing? Serikawa was right next to me, but her voice sounded far away, like she was talking through her telephone. Oh. I had to get out of here, but I couldn't stop the filming. Why was I doing this? Why was he dead? The wire dug deeper and deeper into his neck without waiting for me to come up with an answer. The body turned away from me. I could see the back of his neck. The flesh around the wire was swollen, red and black. I heard a muffled sound, like something hard snapping inside of back. The head slumped just a little. Oh, keputer ya? His neck had just broken neck, bro. That must have been the sound of a neck breaking. Haku, let's get out of here. I should hear Serikawa's voice. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's right. I need to get out of here. Tuk tuk. Tuk 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 tuk. My body moved as I heard another sound. I spun around. Ugh. I screamed. And then I heard something from behind me. I don't know what I did, but the next thing I knew, my whole field of vision had turned red. And I felt something like a ball hit me. Before I could understand what it was, everything faded to black. Okay. midnight. Shinjo, we've managed to ID the victim from his possession and the security cameras. His name is Hinori Kakita, 22 years old, a Shibuya resident with a part-time marketing job at Koshin. Part-timer at Koshin? Any loafers? No roommates either. He lived alone. It seems. Shit. Shinjo cursed. If he was single and not in a relationship, it will take time to figure out his private life. And Koshin was one of the companies that had profited the most from the recovery project in recent years. Part-time or not, if he worked there, he was probably pretty busy. It was possible that his coworker knew just his name and nothing else about who he was outside of the work. Shinjo, what do we tell the media? Hayomi TV and Nikonia's net reporter are refusing to leave. And those two kids who found at the scene, who said they are with the Hakiho newspaper club, they've calmed down, but they are still not making a lot of sense. That other girl doesn't have anything that will tell us who she is. We're checking if she is a friend of relative or a relative of Kakita's, but no luck yet. She's refusing to say anything. Also, Forensic wanted to know. Hey, you can't just... This is Watabe from Nikonia News. Excuse me, what's going on here? Get out. We can't come in without the permission. Just a brief command. A brief command is all I needed. Shinjo's man physically dragged the reporter out of the room. He had to stop himself from putting his hand to his head and moaning. He couldn't let his men see him acting weak. Shinjo had been with police headquarters section one for less than 7 years. He didn't get along with his superior, but he had managed to back his way into being in charge of this case. Maybe this was his way of avenging the death of an older detective who he had admired. Once you're done looking at the window frame, make sure it can be seen from the outside. There's no telling what those net reporters will do. Yes, sir. I'll talk to forensic myself. Oh, and put some more manpower into checking his connection at work. I'll tell the bosses. Yes, sir. So what about those kids? I'll handle them too. Yes, sir. His men raced out of the room. They had never had a case like this before, and they were probably pretty excited. So was Shinjo, to be honest. The whole thing was such a mess that he didn't even know where to begin. But his detective instinct were screaming at him to start doing the work needed to find the killer. Okay.
Yosh.
Hasil malah lehernya patah ya. Hello, this is Trustworthiness Investigation Company Frisia. Bentar. His call was answered on the first ring, like always. It's me. Oh, Shinjo. You're late. I thought you'll be contacting me earlier. I'm sorry. Shinjo apologized without thinking, and for no clear reason. He always felt like a naughty child. Tumben kamu live siang-siang langsung VN bang. Lah, emang kenapa? Karena nanti malam kayaknya nggak bakal stream VN deh. Lebih ke pre-talk. Jadi karena pengen nyobain nih VN, aku penasaran jadi ya sekarang aja. Bangga boleh. You know why you're so exhausted? It's because you are taking this so seriously. You should relax a bit like they did. I've got no intention of copying their habits. You're so serious, aren't you? If you keep on thinking that's a virtue, you're going to have a bad time of it one day. Momose, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. Shinjo cut her off before she could continue her lecture and gave her a brief description of the scene. Enggak, tumben aja kamu bang, lo nggak boleh. Oh ya udah nggak boleh, udahlah, save aja lah. Save aja lah. This was a violation of the rules, but the only way to solve a crazy case was to be a little crazy yourself. That was the first thing he had learned from that older detective. So, is it murder or suicide? Momose asked her question after he had described the situation. She got to the heart of the problem. We are not sure right now. The hotel had gotten suspicious when Kakita had never calmed down after checkout time. When more than 10 calls to the room went unanswered, they had contacted the police. 2 officers as well as someone from the hotel had gone to the room and found the body and an unconscious girl. 1 officer stayed at the scene to keep it secure, and the other searched the hotel to make sure it was safe. During the search, he had forgotten to lock the employee entrance in the back near the stair. That was how the 2 students from Hekiho had gotten in. Shortly after he had left the room, the girl woke up and started strangling the officer who had stayed. He had hit his hat on the edge of the glass window and knocked himself out. He was going to be fine, but he had been out cold until backup arrived. When the backup got there, they found the girl unconscious on the floor. A boy from Hekiho was passed out on the floor too. The other girl from Hekiho was throwing up, also on the floor. Kakita's cause of death was asphyxia via strangulation. The wire around his neck was a kind used at construction site. It has been hung in an X pattern from the light on the ceiling, and he had been sitting on the bed as it rotated. That's why there was so much pressure on his neck that finally his head had been severed. From the estimated time of death, Kakita had passed away before the police had even been contacted. The body on the bed kept spinning in time to the music, 1 rotation every 2 minutes. In the end, the man's head had been cut off completely. The problem was the girl in the room. There was no indication that she had ever touched Kakita. There were no fingerprints or any other sign that she had touched Kakita's body, the bed, or the wire. The only thing they had found under her fingernail were skin and blood from the officer she had strangled. In fact, there was no indication she had touched much of anything in the room. Everything they found belonged to Kakita. And according to the officer she had strangled, when she had attacked him, she had clearly been in an unstable psychological state. Her eyes were bloodshot and out of focus. Nggak kena copy kanan kamu main game ini bang. Gak apa-apa kena copy kanan sama nggak kena take down. So what are you trying to say here? This girl just watched Kakita die without touching anything in the room, then started strangling a police officer while temporarily insane. Shinjo scratched his hat as he heard her sum up the situation. That was what it looked like, at least from what they knew right now. And just going by that, it sure looked like a suicide. But it was all over too strange. No AdSense, iya, emang gak ada AdSense aku, emang no AdSense aku. I see, this is a bit of a problem. What about these kids from Hekiho that got inside the room?
ショックが大きかったようで、最初は
Seems
何
like
も
it was
喋ら
pretty
なかったんですが、
traumatic for
今
them.
は少しず
So
つ
it-
話し始めてい
So
ま
at
す。
first they wouldn't say anything, but now they are starting to talk.
ですが、いろいろと問題のある壁法の子ですから。
But they are from Hekiho, and that place has some issues. He had checked with the school and verified that they were part of the school's newspaper club. The security camera at the rear entrance had seen them coming in, which matched with their testimony. But he didn't know what to make of their testimony that the door had opened on its own, or that someone else had tried to come into the room. The door was equipped with an automatic lock. Okay, and the only person inside the room who could have opened it was that girl. There was no sign of her fingerprint on the door, and the security camera in the hallway showed no sign of anyone else trying to go in. In the event, it was extremely rare for a civilian to see a dead body outside of a funeral. And in an unstable mental state, it was extremely easy to imagine things or just outright be mistaken about what was going on. If they turned out to not have any relationship to Kakita or the girl, he planned on letting them off with a stern warning.
結局のところ、
Our
一
biggest
番
lead
大
is
き
the
な手
girl
がかり
who
は
was in the room,
部屋
but
に潜
she's
んでい
not
たその子な
talking.
そのままだと悲観
She's
視は
probably
ね
going to be put under psychiatric hold at this rate, right?
はい。そ
Yeah,
うなると、
but that will
大
slow
幅に
down
捜
the
査が遅れることになるの
investigation
で、
a lot.
そうしたく
So
な
I
いんです。
I would rather not go that route.
分かったわ。ちょっと
Got
情
it.
報を
Let me
回
get
させ
some
てちょうだい。
information spread.
多分新庄ちゃんの立場的
Spread
に
round.
無理
Given
し
your
てもらうことに
position,
なるから
this is probably going to be
覚悟はしと
pretty
いてね。
rough for you. So
3分
get
後に
ready,
こっち
okay?
からかけ
I'll
直すか
call
ら。
back in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes.
あ、助かります。
Okay, thanks.
よろしくお願い
I
します。
appreciate it. Shinjo went to hang up the phone.
あ、ちょっと。
Wait,
はい。
yeah?
そういえばお願いがあるのよ。
Actually, I want you to do
絶対に
something
新
for
庄ちゃん
me.
のためにもなることなんだ
I'm
けど、
sure it
聞いてくれないかしら。
will be a big help for you. Can you do it? It was basically an order, then Shinjo thought to himself.
何ですか？
What is it?
この件に関して。
One of my
私より詳
kids
しい
knows
記録
more
の人がい
about
るんだよ。
this than I do,
それで
and they say they want to see the crime scene personally. Can you help
お
them
願い
out?
できない？
部外者を
You want me
現
to
場に
let an outsider into a crime scene?
いつだって物事を
It's
解
always
決するヒント
outsider
を
who
与
will
えるの
give
は
you the
部
hint
外者よ。
you need to solve the case. After all, I'm an outsider too, she continued.
うーん。
And his hat, Shinjo went over the steps he had have to take, and the time required to take them.
明日、いや、
Can it be
明後
tomorrow?
日で構
Or
いませんか？
no, or no, the day after.
さすが新庄ちゃん、話せるじゃない？
That's my
よくそれ
Shinjo.
で片
Glad
手
we
揃
could
いの
work
捜査
out.
一課に残れてるわ
Glad we
ね。
could work this out. I don't know how you manage around the rest of the hard hats in section 1.
では、よろしくお願い
Alright,
します。
talk to you later.
あ、ちょっと新庄ちゃん。
Hold on a second, Shinjo. Would you? He barely stopped himself from ending the call.
まだ何か？
Is there something else?
念のため、
I wanted to
アドバイス
give you
しとこう
some advice just in case. Two things.
言っておくけど、
First,
さっきのは冗
what I
談じゃ
said
ないの
before I
よ。
wasn't a joke anymore.
は？
チャランポランで行きなさいってい
You
う
need
や
to
つ。
relax a little. Don't take everything so seriously.
これから間違いなく
I'm sure a lot of
理
things
解
are
の外
about
に
to
ある試験は
happen
続くわよ。
that will be beyond your understanding. When that happens, your worst enemy is what you
気を
think
つ
you
けなさい
know.
な。
肝に銘じます。
I'll make sure to remember that.
そこで真面目に返事している
That
よう
was
じ
a
ゃまだま
serious
だね。
answer. You've still got a long ways to go.
もう一つはね、
And the other thing is, Momose paused for a second and chuckled.
うちの子にとってこ
Don't
れない
let
よ
my
うに
kid
ね。
get the better of you too often. If you lay your
部
guard
外
down,
者になりかねないわ
you
よ。
end up an outsider yourself. Wait. Udah deh, kita save sampai sini ya. Kita bakal end sampai sini ya. Kita bakal sebut nama. Ada Bubu, ada Biru Dongo, ada Supri, ada Nepu, ada Bagis, ada Poriski, ada Fun, ada Vince, ada Ahmad Raffi. Ya, buat yang udah mampir dan juga menonton kali ini, nanti kita bakal lanjut malam. So ya, thanks for watching and see you guys in next time. Bye bye.